long as they don't ruin your food, right?
No, man. You gotta know what I'm talking about. Old school, man. Saying. Back in the day, man. But yeah, man. I bet, man. It's just amazing, man. How life changes, and you know, we building this real estate company up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're starting to build it up, and you know, you only guys need a job, and we send them to school, get their real estate license, and come work for us.
Yeah. You know, we got some people in the fire department that do real estate.
Oh, they coming up, man.
You know.
Yeah.
We got Cavani Lovin. He does real estate.
Yeah.
You know. We got quite a few brothers who want to do real estate, or you know, it's all real estate is. I mean,
it's on your time.
It's on your time.
How you build it and what you want to do.
What you do with it, but you know, you gotta get your clientele. You gotta get cold call. You gotta do all that stuff.
And build your team.
You know.
Yeah.
But it's all on you.
Yeah.
And what you make of it is what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
But you gotta have a little, I think, capital, because there's that time when you're building your business. If you don't sell, you don't eat. You know? So
in plenty of times we looking in the mirror that we're gonna eat this week.
yeah, so you got, I mean, I was there too, cereal for lunch and dinner.
Oh, man.
You know, we all been there.
I'm still eating cereal.
And that's what makes us who we are today, you know? You look in the refrigerator and you go, damn, what?
You know, when I
Right.
first started working for the city, it was the police department.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was a teacher for a couple of years with the police, and I transferred to Park and Rec.
Yeah.
But just to be into all the differences and stuff, man, I thought about firemen. Back when I stopped playing sports, I really thought about it.
Really? I never thought about it.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I just realized, and I wish if I'd have pursued it, it would have been easier back then for me to do. Today, it's just...
Today, it's really competitive.
Yeah, I got a friend of mine, his son passed all the tests, and he took all his courses. We live?
Yeah, we're live.
The show's open?
Not on there yet. We just live on YouTube.
Okay.
We can't be live because I see him and
This
you.
is different.
And I don't see me.
This is different. That's the plan. This is different.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I believe, you know, for
Gray hair.
no, he's
Gray hair. Too much.
Oh, yeah. So,
It's wisdom, I guess.
yeah. Oh man, you know, you just got to talk to your boy from the New York Knicks.
Who's that?
What's his name? The great basketball.
Charles Oakley?
No, the great basketball. What's the other basketball?
Charles Oakley
He
came
got
through
just
with
for
it.
man. You painted.
I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
Charles Oakley cold. They're still scared of him with his gray hair and everything.
Yeah.
Like 20 security guards trying to get him out of there.
Okay.
He
So
stood
we're
up
live
like,
now on the Facebook.
right?
All right.
So now you want to click on the video
Yeah. On your thing.
and you want to turn down the volume.
Yeah. Turn down your
You
value.
see
Perfect.
yourself. Scroll down, refresh it. There you go. Now scroll up slowly. There it is.
Okay, so I just click on it.
Yeah, just click on it. Just turn the volume down.
So we're getting ready to go live here with the man, with the master plan.
And you can also click on it and share it.
And you start sharing it with your
Turn
friends.
the volume all the way down and share. Right post. Right post. There. Bam, and then just press post.
That's
You
goes
good.
to my friends.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So that shared the whole list, huh?
Yeah, that's everybody now.
Oh, good. All right, we on live.
Yeah, we online, brother. And
Start hard.
as soon as he lick me in on it, and we go live, I'll take care of everything else.
Still scared of him. His gray hair and everything. Yeah, like 20 security.
So yeah, man, I'll talk to you about after the show about him and give you his name. And I told him about his son. I think he scored pretty high on the test.
Who's that?
Excuse me.
Mr. Winston. Yeah, he took the test. He's got his license. I guess the schooling that you were talking about already. You know, all that stuff. And right now he's at Longshoreman. But his goal is
He's a longshoreman?
yeah, right now, yeah, he's doing Longshoreman. But his goal is to be a fireman.
Okay.
But he got his degree from Davis. He played football. He's in great shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to definitely be in great shape first of all.
Yeah, you can't come in and try to get into shape.
Yeah,
It's not gonna work.
it's not gonna work.
You gotta come in ready to go.
Ready to go.
There's some guys who come in and they lost 30 pounds through the academy.
Yeah.
You know, they, it's rigorous.
Yeah.
And, being a firefighter, no joke.
No,
Serious business.
man. And one call can be it. That'd be it.
People forget.
Yeah.
Alright,
So
if you guys are ready to rock,
let's roll.
we can roll.
Yeah, let's roll. Let's get ready for the man, Mr. Sherman Tillman. Let's get ready. You got your wife and kids out here paying attention.
I hope so. I don't know. Maybe they'll watch it when it's recorded,
Recording.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Some of them, they might not watch it. They're very, Big Brother's coming on tonight, so that'll probably take precedent over me.
Thursday night football.
Thursday night football was delayed because of a rain.
5, 4, 3, 2, and you're on.
This is your host, Arthur Rory M. Smith of the Rory M. Smith Show, sponsored by California Urban Podcast. And sponsored by who else?
Curve 31 Real Estate.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
We're here with the great Sherman Tillman, and known as Captain Sherman Tillman of the San Francisco Fire Department, one of the great fire departments in California, probably the best fire department in California. Very dignified and very strong. Also, at this particular time, the mayor of San Francisco is who, Sherman?
Mayor London and Breed.
All right. And she's really working with all the departments to try to get everything straightened out and get the whole thing better, and make sure that everybody is in tune with the fire department, the police departments, and all the departments in the city and stuff, because we're trying to make sure that we are being a family in San Francisco. I was born and raised in San Francisco, and I've seen a lot of changes over the years, especially for African American people. But I am proud that many of us is serving in the fire department today. So Sherman, I want you to introduce yourself and say a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into this interview when you was a little boy. We start going back in time and how you.
I might not even remember all.
Okay.
All
right.
But yeah, so as you said, obviously my name is Sherman Tillman. I am a captain in the San Francisco Fire Department. I'm also president of the San Francisco Black Firefighters Association.
Wow, that's big.
And my birthday actually is tomorrow. I'll be 52 years
22.
old. 52.
Happy birthday, brother.
52, not 22.
You telling people how
I
old
wish
I
I
am?
was 22. That was a good year.
Yeah.
Any day in the 20s was a good year, or the 30s,
Man.
or the 40s to be honest. But yeah, 52 tomorrow, just happy to make it this far, because I can tell you there was times in my life when I didn't think I would make it this far. I didn't think I would make it to see another day.
Wow.
You know.
We'll get into that, and we'll get in that journey growing up in the Fillmore, during a tough time when the Fillmore exploded in the 80s with the crack era. So you came on during a time that was very difficult in San Francisco, and it affects us today. A lot of our kids are continuing to get affected, and parents from what happened in the 80s and stuff like that today.
Yeah.
But people, I want to say something right quick about Sherman. I've been knowing Sherman since he was a little kid. When he was playing Little League Baseball, I used to watch him play. I watched him play in high school. And one day when he got in high school, I finally started talking to him a little bit about playing baseball at the highest level. And the highest level in the city had for high school players was American Legion. Yeah. And there was only two teams in the city, the Seals and the San Francisco Senators, which the Senators is actually a really old program as well.
Really old.
And the Seals is the old Giants. They used to be the Giants, and that was an old program, but they came and changed to American Legion, and the Senators picked up a Legion team as well, which was ran by Bill Markey back in the day. So, Dr. Bill Markey, so I don't know if
you always have to say doctor when a person's a doctor.
Yeah,
you get really upset.
Yeah, Dr. Bill.
They put a lot of work in.
I went through all this school, and you better call me.
Yeah. So anyway, I met Sherman. The one thing I appreciate when I met him, his vocabulary was up here. So if I'm going to talk to Sherman, I better have a high vocabulary back in the day, because Sherman was one of these kids that was really studying. His grades was really out there. You know, for a lot of our kids was barely making 2.0, barely reading, you know, just struggling trying to get. Sherman was somewhere around the fours. You know,
I used to get teased as a kid.
Yeah,
I went to class.
Yeah, he got teased because he had
Right.
grades and he was smart. And
Yes.
but he was the top hitter in baseball in the city. Nobody.
One of.
Well-
I'm not going to say the top, because there's some really cold cats back there.
You had Harvey Pulliam, you had Dominic Pierce, you had.
They were
some-
younger than me.
Yeah, you had a
But
few.
you
You
had
had
some
a
cold
by
cats.
year, but you had some. You had
cold
you had
cats.
Marvin Matoy. You had some good guys,
Yeah.
but your average was high. And the reason why he was probably the best hitter, especially at the DH one year, because you hit everything. Most guys hit fastballs. When you throw the fastball, maybe a curve, but you hit curve, breakers, sliders. It didn't matter what you was able to do that. Very few people could do that. But anyway, our first day.
Well, you know,
we going.
one thing I want to say about
Okay.
that is I did something that, you know, I choked up on the bat when I had 2 strikes, and a lot of guys don't do that.
Okay.
Or if I had a pitcher that was tricky and I didn't think I could really drive the ball, I sacrificed and choke up on the bat right away. And I'm
Right.
thinking center to right.
Right.
I'm not even trying to pull the ball.
Right.
I'm like, okay, this guy, he has some good stuff. He might
Right.
pull me.
Right.
Let me just make good contact.
Right.
You know, and that's something that people do today. But back in
Yeah.
the '80s, you know, people were just like, let me just crush the ball.
And I know
Yeah.
for a fact, if he came up 4 times to the plate playing with us, he's hitting 3. He'll be on base.
I'm going with
Yeah, he's getting on
by
base.
hook or by crook. You're gonna
Yeah.
hit me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk.
Yeah.
I'm doing something.
He's getting on
Right.
base.
Get on
Yeah.
base.
So, well, we're gonna go back to when you're around first. I'll say let's go about 8, 9 years old. Is that when you start playing little league and getting involved in baseball? When did you start getting involved? And as a kid, well, let's go back to your youngest year that you remember growing up with your mom and all that stuff.
You know, my mom took me to the Bronco tryouts.
Okay.
She dropped me off, and that's where I found the love for baseball.
How
I
old were you?
never.
How old were you?
I started playing baseball at 8 years old.
Okay.
Okay, so I didn't play t-ball or anything like that. I went right out and it's, you know, coach pitch or whatever. And actually it was self pitch, I think at 8. But I found a coach, or, you know, you had the tryouts, and they put you on a team as far as where your neighborhood was, where you lived.
Yeah.
And the coach was, you know, I didn't really know much about baseball, to be honest. I played strikeouts, but I didn't play, you know, t-ball, so I didn't
Right.
have any idea.
Right.
This guy, he spent time with me. He used to hit me 60 to 70 fly balls a day.
Wow.
This brother, he was an older cat. He was probably in his, I want to say in his 50s.
Wow.
And he got me out in center field, and he used to just hit me fly balls.
Wow.
And from that, I learned to be able to track the ball, obviously to catch the ball, and I got so comfortable with fielding that was really my strong suit. I didn't really get into being a good hitter, I would say, until like the 8th grade. Like 7th grade, 6th grade, I was the defensive guy. They had me out in the outfield because anything that was hit,
You caught.
I'm going to catch it.
Okay.
And when you're in the 6th grade, not many guys
Yeah.
could go back on the ball,
Right.
turn their back to the field,
Right.
and turn around and catch the ball. But I could do that because of the repetition that man gave
Taught you.
me.
Okay.
And so I was that guy who would bunt to get on.
Mm-hmm.
If I hit, and I was really fast, so if I pound the ball into the dirt and just run.
Okay.
So I wasn't really that great a hitter to start out with. That's
Right.
something I actually had to work at.
Okay. So as you start developing in the sport and starting to go into school and stuff like that, when you got in school, did you play for the school team?
I did.
And was your coach a mentor to you? Did he?
No, he wasn't. I'll be honest, you know, back then the gym teacher was
Mentor.
the basketball coach.
Yeah.
He was the baseball coach.
Yeah.
He was the soccer coach.
Yeah.
And he probably didn't know anything about all 3 of them.
Right.
Okay. But the reason why I made all these teams is because I always played on the older team. When I was younger, when I was 10, I'm playing on the 13-year-olds. When I'm 9, I'm playing on the 11-year-olds.
So
So the
you
older
physical.
guys, in junior high had already played with me. They're in the 8th grade. I'm in the 6th grade. They're like, oh, Sherman's coming out for the team. Oh, coach, hey, this guy, hey, you need to get this guy out here because he can catch and he's gonna get on base.
Okay.
And so, and it was actually like Derek Crenshaw and Mark Neal and these older, well, Mark's the same grade as me, but the older cats were the ones that told the coach, because I was scrawny.
Right.
Nobody was looking at me to play any sports. I mean, they looked at me and they're like, next, you know.
Right.
But once you got me on the field and you got to see the talent and the speed, then you said, okay, well, we'll give it a chance. But it's these older guys that vouch for me.
Okay.
So if it wasn't for these guys,
baseball
would have probably, because I love football.
Yeah. Okay.
I played wide receiver. I played cornerback. And I was a little guy, but man, you come over that middle, you gonna pay for it.
Okay.
I was smacking people.
Okay. So after all, you know, the younger part, you went into high school.
Yeah.
And once you went into high school, had you already knew the coaches? Because, you know, back then you kind of got to know the coaches even back then.
Even to play. Yeah, it's
even
crazy,
to play.
right?
Yeah, you had to know them to even
I didn't know
try
anything.
out.
No.
So you just, so how did
I was a scared freshman at Washington.
Okay.
Washington was like 3,500 people.
Yeah, it's the biggest
and
school.
It's
yeah.
a huge school.
Yeah.
And I remember the first day of school, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people here.
Right,
You
right.
know? But luckily, I went to Roosevelt, so a lot of the guys from Roosevelt went to Washington, so I already had a set group of friends. To
And you had Derek up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had some people looking out for me.
Yeah. So what was your main goal? Football when you got there, or was it baseball?
No, my main goal was just to play.
Just play anything.
Not anything. I did track and field. When I was in the 8th grade, I think I finished 3rd in the long jump in the city, all city. You know, we had all city. And my friend Thomas Allums, we were on the same relay team.
Oh,
He was the fastest cat in the city because he finished number 1 in the
right?
relay.
Okay.
All right, I mean in the 100-yard dash.
Okay.
And we were on the same relay, and our relay team finished 2nd.
Okay.
So we were pretty tight, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do track and field because that was what I was really good at. And baseball was something I liked to do, but I didn't envision keeping it going. I knew I was gonna play in high school, but I was like, track and field's my thing because that's where I'm getting these medals from.
Okay.
So I got medals in baseball, but they didn't give you the same feeling because baseball's a team sport, track and field's individual. And so
and when you come in 3rd and 1st, you really come.
you have a better feeling about yourself in track and field because it's you.
Right.
So it was just a different vibe.
Okay. So as you going up, now I noticed you in the 10th grade.
Yeah.
I started coming to the games, and I'm scouting for the American Legion.
Yeah.
And so Melvin went to one of your games, and y'all were playing that big wreck where Washington was on one side playing, and I think Mac was on that side. So I told him, I'm gonna go watch Mac, you go watch Mac, and then we'll switch, and then we'll come back and kind of put our notes down who we think. So he came back with your name on it and said, well, who's this?
Who's this guy?
Who's this guy? He said, man, he hit everything.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the JVs too. You know, he said he's hitting everything. I said, everything? He said, man, I don't think he struck out. So I said, let me go back over there. So he come up, boop. And what cracked me up about you had cockiness about you.
Me?
Yeah.
You're talking about somebody else, not me. Not me. I was very quiet and meek.
No, but when you ran up that first baseline, your hat was turned. I never forget it.
When you have a little speed,
No. Your hat was turned. You was looking at the dude like, I'm about to steal on you. You had this. That's what I'm talking about. And you took off, and the coach I never forgot this because I said, coach was kind of displeased. I didn't tell you to go.
Yeah, that's what they used to tell me.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you to go.
Yeah, and you went.
I went, yeah.
And I was just like, I like him.
Yeah.
You know, I said, Mel, you got to talk to him. And so now the SEALs, whoever I was recruiting, the SEALs was watching me. Rich and all them would be there at the game and said, why is he looking at this kid? He started watching. See, so it didn't matter. Wherever I went, the SEALs was looking at who I was trying to recruit.
Right.
At the same time, they was trying to recruit. Because now we're looking at this situation where now we're going to fight for the best players because it's maybe 4 players per team that you can really look at per high school team. And I just appreciated the fact that you came. When I talked to your mom, she was really, really nice
Yeah.
lady, but she was serious about you staying out the game, and keeping an eye on you, making you get home and all this stuff. So I appreciated that, and that's the first time I met her back in the day and stuff. And we was young coaches, and but when I saw your grades, I just knew. I ain't never seen grace like that.
You never seen grace like that.
I ain't never seen grace like that myself, you know. So I'm just sitting there going, "What's this dude doing? Was he just sitting in the house with an Einstein or something? Who you talking to, man?"
Well, you know,
And you took the right classes. That's what was amazing to me. You weren't taking classes everybody else was taking. You were taking the right classes to advance to university.
Well,
And
I had a good upbringing. My mom
Yeah,
was an
yeah.
English teacher.
Yeah.
So, there wasn't any doubt that you had to go to school. There was, in my household, school was number one. Okay, you were going to school, you were
Okay.
going to college. My mom was the first in our family to go to college.
Okay.
She has a master's degree
Okay.
in English.
Okay.
And you have to speak correctly.
Oh yeah.
And, growing up in the Fillmore, that's not the way people roll. Let's put it that way.
Sherman used
So-
to talk and everybody just turn around.
When I would talk, people would look at me and they'd say, "Who the hell is this?"
Right.
And
That's
then
amazing,
they'd
man.
tease me. And I admit I
But
was
this the
smaller
funny
than a lot of
part.
the other people.
Just the funny part is,
But,
Melvin had the same vocabulary as him, the other coach. And when they be talking, we be sitting back and they having this conversation. We
Yeah.
looking at each other like, "Who is Einstein talking to Einstein?" But Sherman was not scared of nothing. This man had heart, man.
From the gate, huh?
From the gate. Sherman ain't no joke, man. I was just sitting there and like, you can't get in his face. He ain't like,
Yeah.
man, the man stood
Don't let
his
it
ground.
fool you.
Yeah, don't let it fool you.
Well, I had to,
So it
a
was
lot
amazing,
of the,
man.
growing up,
Yeah,
you had to have a little swagger or you would get stepped on.
yeah,
And being smaller,
yeah.
everyone's picking on you, so you have to show people
You always the
that-
first one they come at.
Yeah, because they're not going to pick, like, so if me and Roy in the class, I'm not picking on Roy.
Right.
Because Roy's,
Right.
he's
He's
bigger.
big, yeah.
Right? And they're like, well, I ain't going to mess with him. I'm going to mess with this cat because
Right.
he's the smaller guy.
Right.
But
You'll
there's-
find out a
they
rude
would
way.
find out,
Yeah.
the hard way.
Yeah.
And it only took a couple times,
Yeah,
and
that's
people
right.
just left me alone.
Yeah.
But I had a good crew. I had good, it's a crazy time.
Yeah.
If you were on this side of the street, you went to Gal. If you were on my side of the street,
Yep.
you went to Wash.
Right.
If you were on this side of the street, you went to Ben Franklin.
Yeah.
On this side of the street,
Marina.
you went to Roosevelt, or on that side, you went to Marina.
Yeah.
So I had a good group of guys, man. The guys next door that lived next door to me, the guy who lived upstairs, the guy to the right of me, some good neighbors, man.
Mhm.
Even though they teased the hell out of me because I
Right.
went to class and they did what they did.
Yeah.
But here's the cold part. All Central Street was like the street. So I
Right.
lived on Turk and Baker, between Baker and Lyon.
Yeah.
And if you lived on Central, those were the hitters. I mean, these were the names of San Francisco, infamous.
Yeah.
But we all used to play basketball at Anza Elementary School.
Wow.
Central Street, Turk Street,
Yeah.
Baker Line, we'd all be
Yeah.
over there. And so these brothers, older than me, they're about 3-4 years older than me, and when we're playing basketball, my vernacular, the way I was talking to them,
Yeah.
they would all look at me like, man, who's this brother? Where you from, right? But these cats looked out for me because they knew that I was about education in the books.
Yeah.
So they knew that, hey, this cat,
Right.
you leave this cat alone because he's going to go somewhere and do something.
Yeah.
So they knew from the jump. So people stopped messing with me.
Right.
This older dude said, hey, man, this dude is he's about the books. Let him go about his business.
Because he's changing our culture.
Right.
That's right.
So they had to do what they were doing,
yeah.
and they let me do what I needed to do.
That's right. That's right.
So
Oh, that's cool.
looking back, that's what we need, right? We
Right.
always hear stories. If you listen to a lot of stories of the neighborhood, there's always people that look out for the kid who wants to go to class,
That wants to
Yeah.
go
who
to
doesn't want the gang life, who
Who
doesn't
don't.
want to hang out,
Yeah.
who doesn't want to cut. And they say, hey, leave this cat alone.
But
because
you know
he's
what's
going
strange?
places.
Yeah.
All them gang members I worked with,
Yeah.
growing up in the city, I worked with a lot of them, especially in the Film One, the Sunnyvale area.
Yeah.
They don't want to be out there.
No.
Yeah.
They
It's
really
a necessity.
It's a necessity. It's
Yeah.
a survival, and
Survival.
they wish they had that where they can go to school with somebody leading them on. They don't, but they had to survive some kind of way. They had to eat. They had to survive, and when that blew up, it was like, man, a lot of them will tell you they don't want that for their little brothers. They don't want that for their little sisters. They don't want that.
But you
Try
need
to move
mentors.
forward.
You need
Yeah.
somebody looking out for you.
Yeah.
You know, I have my mom who's a English teacher.
Yeah, she's a good lady.
So
Yeah, she's a good lady.
you're going to school.
Yeah.
But if I had a different mom who didn't care about me going to school,
You would have had
then I'd had a whole different life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's the luck of the draw,
Like,
Yeah.
but you need somebody in your life pointing you in that right direction.
Yeah.
And
Giving you something that you can't get nowhere else. And so it's kind of like when you came home, you was out of that world.
Right.
When you come on your house and that door open and that door closed, you in mom's world.
Right.
And that world is school, get your meals done, take care of this house, take care of my little brother of
Right.
yours. And when I get to work, come home, I gotta keep you sharp, wear your clothes nice, everything. So I appreciate her back then because when she came and talked to me, she had this serious look like, now my son going to college and I don't want him out. Once baseball, get him out of here and get him home. So.
Well,
That's
I
good
was
thing.
lucky. Young, we had the banana board skateboards.
Yeah.
So I had a little banana board and I'd skate.
Yeah.
And through that, I met like a whole different cast of characters. You know, all these guys who grew up in the Noe Valley who surfed and skated.
Yeah.
And hanging out with them, that kept me out of trouble too. Because I had baseball, I had skateboarding, and I had surfing.
And you know what's
So,
funny?
I was never home. If
never-
it wasn't baseball practice,
No,
I was
let me
surfing,
explain
skating,
something.
or doing something else.
This
And
is the funny part that he bring that up.
there wasn't too many
One
brothers out
day
there.
we about to
surfing.
practice.
Right.
We wondering where Sherman ain't here yet. We about to just wait. He coming. We look down the street. It's the first time I'm seeing him skateboard to practice. He on his skateboard. I'm going, brother, on a skateboard? This dude doing? He comes skateboard into practice, man. I just like, you skateboard? A year later, I saw him with a surfboard.
Yep.
He became a pro. Literally out there winning surfing.
Where were you, sir?
Oh.
Where?
So when I
We
say
all from the
surfing,
city.
let me qualify. It's bodyboarding, right? So there's surfers; those are the guys that stand up and they're on the waves
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
So the bodyboards are the guys that kind of have the board and they're getting tubed and they're doing tricks off of the waves. So
Okay.
that's what I did. How did I get into it? So it's funny. So I used to skate, and I skated with like some street skate with like some of the great street skaters of
Yeah.
the world has ever known.
Mhm.
Tommy Gorell and Fish and all these guys who are, world known for skateboarding,
X-Games.
and they all came from San Francisco. That's the first thing. And they were in our little crew, our little clique, and they were way better than I was. Just, I was barely I'm not even gonna say I was a good skateboarder. I would say I was average.
Yeah.
For this crew, because these were like that's what they did. They skateboarded.
Yeah.
And so I would learn from them, just hanging out, skateboarding. But one of the guys who skated with me took me out to Pacifica and said, "Hey, let's go surfing." I was like, "Hey, black people don't surf, man. Am I gonna get bit by a shark? What's going? That's the first thing I'm thinking about. Going in the ocean to do what? The real ocean? And you wanna do? No, not me.
Yeah.
But he's like, "Oh man, come on, man. I got the board for you. I have a wetsuit. It'll be fun." I was like, I'm down for anything, man. Get you out of the house, whatever. All right, let's go. So we go down to Pacifica. We're out there. I didn't even know how to sit on the board.
Yeah.
Because you sit on the board while the board's under you, and you're waiting for the waves. So I was fumbling, falling down, and so I finally got up for a second, and you know what happened? A seal jumped right out of the water and started barking at me right in my face. Man, I rushed out of the water. I was so scared. I rushed out of the water. I'm pushing, I'm getting back. I'm like, I'm never doing this.
That's it. That's
That
it.
thing was trying to bite me.
You don't realize how big they are.
It's a big teeth. I was like, I am out of here. And so I was on the beach, and you know, I come back and my buddy's like, hey, where'd you go? And I was like, man, that seal's trying to kill me. He's like, that seal can't do nothing to you. I said, tell that to that seal with that big old mouth and the big teeth, right? And so, you know, I stayed out of the water for a bit, but he got me back out there.
Yeah.
And, you know, once I had a decent wave where I could figure out how to turn
Right.
and catch the wave and go, I was hooked.
You was hooked.
I was hooked. So there'd be days I'd be late
Man.
to practice because I'm out there surfing.
Man.
You know, because the waves were so good,
Mhm.
I was like, man, practice can wait. I'm getting barreled right now. You know, this is more important, right? You know,
Yeah.
because
Man.
wherever you are, that's the most important thing. You know.
Man, so now you're getting ready to graduate. You did your thing, your prom, whatever you got to do, and your batting averages is 6 something, and you all city. Now you're looking at college,
Yeah.
and you decided to go to a college where you thought you was gonna play. So
Yes.
what was that journey like?
You know, like I said, kids need mentors. You know, people need mentors. If I had a mentor, I probably would have gone to a school closer. And if not gone to a school closer, I would have, you know, everybody from this AAA was going to City College and trying to make one big team.
Right, sir.
But my mom was like, you know, you're going to four-year college. And this guy from Northeastern said I could come out and play baseball out there. And my mom knew somebody, one of her sorority sisters, was like vice admissions principal or whatever they call it. And they wanted me to go there. So I was like, Boston. I've never really been away from home.
Yeah.
Hey, this might be pretty cool, you know?
Right.
So I went to Boston and I played at Northeastern University. And the coach that had kind of recruited me, well, he got fired. Like, here we are, you know, the season's about to start, and, you know, and this was when Reggie Lewis was at Northeastern, and Reggie Lewis played, you know, eventually played at Boston Celtics. He's the guy who got drafted #1 and died.
He had a heart attack.
He had a heart attack.
wow.
Okay, so Northeastern was in the know because we were going to the NCAA tournament.
Right.
The hockey team was Final Four hockey team, so we were, you know,
Pretty
it was
good
a
school to
pretty
be
good
at. Yeah,
school
but-
at that time to be at. So the coach gets fired, and like most typical coaches, he's a local guy, so he brings in all his people. And so I'm out, you know, we're doing tryouts, and I'm like, okay, these is his boys, okay, but I'm crushing it, you know, I'm doing my thing, and I'm hitting, and I'm pitching, and, you know, people can't hit my balls, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be good. And I look at the lineup, and I'm gonna see my name in it, and I go, wait, so I'm gonna be sitting on the bench, and this guy is playing ahead of me? Now, if I had you or somebody else, hey, stick it out, Sherman. Hey, as soon as you get in, they're gonna see what you got. Don't worry about it. Just keep going. But I was like, I cannot. I was very. I won't say I was frustrated and angry because I was, but I was at that point in my life where ego was really important. Like, I've learned to let ego go and don't put ego into anything you do. Do it the best of your ability, but once you put ego into it, it changes the dynamics of what you're trying to do. Okay? So, back then, if you had somebody who I was better than ahead of me, oh, we can't have that.
Yeah, you can't have
We
it.
just can't. I just wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm not playing that game. I'm not rolling that way. So I go to the coach and I'm like, hey, I know this is your guy, but I mean, he can't hold a candle to me. What's going on? Oh, you got an attitude. So I'm only black guy on the team. I mean, this is Boston. This is Boston 1986.
Yeah.
You know, this is Boston 1986 where a woman said a black man raped her and they stopped all the black people because they wanted to find out who
Wow.
raped this woman and they didn't have a description. So they stopped every black man walking. So this is that Boston. Okay, so this is that Boston where I wanted to take a cab from MIT to go back to Northeastern, and no cabs would pick me up. So I ended up walking back. So that's that era. So this coach, I'm the only black player on the team. I tell him I should be playing. Obviously, he thinks I got an attitude, and you don't say those type of things to coaches like I should be playing. But I don't have someone in my ear saying, just sit on the bench, wait your turn, and everything will be all right. So I didn't have that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm thinking, I gotta get out of here. I gotta play,
Right.
right? I gotta play ball because what I do.
Right.
At that stage in my life, that's what my mentality is.
Right.
That's who I am. I'm a ball player. So I have to transfer. I have to get out of there.
Right.
So, I was getting kind of homesick anyway, and my girlfriend, who's my wife now, my high school sweetheart, was calling me, and I was feeling homesick, and I miss all my friends. I mean, I was out there alone.
Yeah.
And so it was on a quarter system, so I transferred, and Berkeley's on a semester system. So all these classes I have been taking are worthless. So I got to start all over. So I got to be a freshman all over again.
Plus
You
you
see,
lost that eligibility.
and you lose the eligibility. See,
Right.
and that guy was such a, I won't, everything happens for a reason, okay? And he got his just due in the end. But no one told me I was going to lose a year eligibility.
Yeah.
No one told me that,
Yeah.
okay? So since I'm going to lose a year eligibility, I'm going to lose the whole year of freshman that I've already done. I got to do it over again. I took a year off and went surfing. That's what I did,
Good
man.
choice.
I took a year off. I traveled. I surfed.
So
I
how
went to
old are you
Hawaii.
at this time?
So
About
I
20,
am
21?
19, 19, 20, in that
Okay.
age. And, I surfed, and I had some great group of guys who I was surfing with, and we pushed each other, and we did all the circuits, the amateur
That's
circuits.
when I saw a lot of you with the surfing.
Right, so
Yeah.
we did a lot of the amateur circuits, and I had qualified for the Pipeline Masters in 1990. And I was the first guy from San Francisco to qualify. And then once I qualified, my good friend Ryan Chin and Mike Shaw, they qualified also, because they wouldn't want me to be the only San Francisco guy. They could,
Right.
especially Mike, because he's older than me,
Right.
and he had been surfing longer than me, so he couldn't have the young guy
Yeah.
go to the Pipeline Masters without him
How'd
being
you
it.
do?
So I did horrible. I mean, it was
You got there, though.
10-foot Hawaiian. It was pretty freaking big.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hollow, and I was getting barreled, and I was doing my thing, but, I didn't make it through my heat, but I got there,
Yes. Yeah.
and I was in the championships, and my name and my picture are there.
Right.
And won me quite a few bets over my length of time, because when I tell people I was in the 1990 World Championships for bodyboarding, they can't see it because I'm black and they just can't see it.
Right.
And then I go, what do you want to bet? So it's an easy win betting for me. What do you want to bet? Oh, lunch and dinner, $10, $20, whatever it is.
Right.
And then I go, okay, when we next show up, I'll show you the articles, and then you pay. So I've won all kinds of bets for that. It's been great. It's the greatest thing going, and I'm still winning bets today for it. But my friend Mike Shaw, he made it down to I think he made the quarterfinals, and he really should have made the semis. I mean, he was surfing, out of his mind. The guy was just getting the greatest barrels, and that's one of the unjust contests that I've ever seen. That Mike Shaw didn't make the finals of the World Championships in 1990. And if he's listening, Mike, I love you. Hope you doing well. He's a cameraman for ESPN. He travels around the world doing that.
I'll have to get him in.
Yeah, he's a good brother, good heart. And if it wasn't for him, I probably would have never kept going surfing, because he was the only black guy out there back then. And so when I started, at least I saw somebody else that looked like me that was doing the same thing.
Right.
So gave me the ability to know that I could do it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we all need. We need to see somebody that look like us to know that we can achieve things. Because if we don't,
Put it in perspective.
then it's a dream, but we don't know that we can get there, and we don't know how to get there. Or we have somebody to lead the way and show us the way. It makes that journey a lot easier.
It's like the Serena sisters. Now we're looking at the tennis, and you seeing what's behind them. You never thought you'd see these many African American girls.
Beautiful.
And they like in the top 10, 4, 5, or 6 of them.
Really?
They're young, 15, 18, 16,
And
17.
it's all because of Serena and Venus.
Yes.
So, and it's the same thing with the fire department. When I was young
Oh, yeah.
growing up,
Yeah.
I didn't see any black fire.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
I did.
I didn't know any firefighters growing up.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of policemen in my neighborhood.
Yeah, we sure did know a
we
lot
knew
of
a lot of policemen in my neighborhood, but I didn't know a lot of,
Look at that.
the firefighters weren't coming to our, the high school and showing, hey, this is the engine, and this is what we do.
Well, before we get into that,
Yeah, sure.
let's go back.
Let's go back.
We'll start getting into that.
Okay.
Let's go back now. You decided to go to Cal Berkeley.
Cal Berkeley.
And you knew your major. You knew
I
what
did.
You knew what
Great
you
Dr. Harry Evans
Okay,
got
so,
me into.
so let's talk about that. Was
man.
he a mentor to you?
You
Because
know-
Dr. Harry Evans has been a mentor to every great athlete in the Bay Area. He tries to at least talk with a lot of prisoners, a lot of people. So Dr.
He does a
Harry,
lot.
So what was that conversation like with him?
He's an amazing person. I remember taking Harry Everett's class, and just the stories, the breadth of knowledge that this man has. And I was like, oh, I'm in the right major.
Okay.
Because if this is how this major is going to be, oh, this is going to be great. Because I'm going to learn a lot, and I'm actually going to come to class because these professors can teach and they care. So that's the difference. So you can go to a class where the professor teaches and he's like, oh, my office hours are at 1 to 3 on Wednesday, see ya. And he's gone. But this man would stay after. I mean, this is a man who consults for the 49ers, who was back in the 60s in the fight.
Yeah.
So for him to make time for me, just some little Cal student who's just lost.
You still talk to him?
I don't, but I know that if I went over to Cal and I went to office hours, and
He'd be right there for
he'd
you.
be right there for me. And I mean, he's right there for anybody who calls on him, because that's the type of man, brother he is. But he's the inspiration for me, getting into that major and then pursuing, a career of helping people, really. Because every job I've ever had, it's always been a job in service of others.
Yeah.
You know.
Because I had a friend that worked at Cal. Her name was Dr. Age,
Okay.
and she helped so many black people get in Cal. And what was impressed, the people I would send was people that had nothing to do with sports.
Yeah.
That's what she loved about it. These was kids that just had grades and
Yeah.
was trying to make a change in their life. They were at least 3-6 students and up, and she really helped them get through. Now she's the head of, her husband's a doctor, and she's the head of something in Alabama over everything. But she was at Cal, and her, and that's when you was telling me when you went there, I was just like, wow, because most everybody that went there were athletes. That got in there.
Most of the brothers.
Yeah, most of the brothers, and you got in on your grades.
Got on my grades. Well, I had help. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I won't forget my brother Andre. Andre is the one who helped me with getting to the admissions office. Helped me talking to the right people. So without that brother, I wouldn't have really got in.
Yeah.
I would have gone to UCLA or some other, school. But he's the one who showed me the way. He got there first, and I knew him from Washington. So when I came home and I took my year off of surfing, and I was like thinking, I love surfing so much. I was doing so well. I was like, why do I need to go to school? I can just keep pursuing this, and who knows what'll happen.
Yeah.
I had some sponsors, and so Andre was like, no, you need to talk to her, and you need to get back to school, because I know you're having fun off your year off, your sabbatical, as I called it, a walkabout like the Australians call it. But you need to get back to what you're about and get back to these books.
Okay.
And so, without that brother, there's always something that happens along the way,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So without that brother saying, "Hey man, get back to what you do,"
Yeah.
I would have still been, hey, because I was having a good old time, man. I'm in Hawaii, I'm in Puerto Rico, I'm in Mexico. I'm having a great time, and I'm wearing flip flops, and there's no real, you don't have real care because you're surfing 3 times a day and you eat and you hang out with your buddies.
Well, you know what's good?
Yeah, man, it's a
Yeah.
good life, man.
That life, it was part of your journey.
Yes.
And you were able to see other countries. You were able to see different things. You was able to travel this country, and you were able to deal with all cultures and all different kinds of people.
Yes.
You were able to understand where people's coming from in different ways. That was grounding you to go to Cal.
Yes.
Because when you stepped in Cal, that's what you stepped into, your surf life.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like, and then you coming from baseball with us.
Yeah.
We played everywhere. You know, we played all of, you know, we went to hick towns. They definitely didn't want us walking in. You know, so you've been through all these things. It made you who you are. You had the great mother who was on top of the game for
Yeah.
education. And now you got Cal, you finished your major.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do right after college?
Right after college, I got a job.
Yeah.
I mean, corporate America. You know, I interned at the Parnassus Fund
Okay.
in college, which is a mutual fund,
Yeah, mutual
socially
fund.
responsible
That's
mutual
right.
fund.
That's right.
And so I thought I was going to do something like that.
Okay.
Work for a mutual fund company,
Mhm.
you know, investments, because I was good with numbers and
Yeah.
have a little bit of a gift of gab
Yeah.
to get people to buy into what I was selling.
Wow.
And so I thought I was going to do that. So I worked for the Prudential.
Yeah.
I was still, during college, I worked for Park and Rec.
Yep.
So I worked at Hamilton Recreation Center. Kenny Banford, what's up, buddy?
Yeah.
So, you know, worked with Kenny and Jackie Battle
Yeah.
and Lorraine
Lampkin.
Lampkin, who's
That's
now
his
like
wife.
one of the.
That's Kenny's wife.
Yeah, it's Kenny's wife now, and they're one of the leaders of I think she's
Super-
second in charge
Yeah,
of Park and Rec right now.
No, first in charge of Park and Rec. She's the superintendent.
Okay, so
yeah,
you
but
know.
she's one position from being in charge of the whole thing.
We already knew she was going places the day I met her, because
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
she
Yeah.
was go get her.
Yeah.
But so I was working Park and Rec part time because I loved coaching, because I started coaching baseball, and Kenny started getting me into coaching basketball because baseball was my thing. I knew obviously I knew the ins and outs of coaching baseball, but you know, Kenny got me into coaching a little basketball, and that's when midnight basketball was coming out back then.
That's
right.
they had
So
to
that's
bring it
the
out. It was
that's
tough.
the that's the
That
tough.
was- that was
Hey,
the
you
tough.
coach a midnight basketball
Back
team
in the 80s.
in the 80s, you've been through it, okay? Or if you referee the game in the 80s at midnight basketball, you can ref, because if you didn't get punched or ran over, it was a good night. So but taking it back, man, that's what great memories back then.
Man. Yeah.
But working for Prudential, knocking on doors, trying to make a living, because you know you made your money on commission.
Right.
So if you didn't sell, you didn't eat. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So Park and Rec was really paying the bills.
Yeah.
And this going out and trying to get people to sign up for life insurance and annuities and this mutual fund and
Yeah.
you know, financial planning.
Yeah.
That's something that you really have to be committed to, and it really is going to take you 3 to 5 years to build the
Establish.
client base and to be established. And one day I'm sitting in that cubicle and I said, this is not my life. I mean, I'm a surfer, I'm a baseball player, I skateboard. I can't be bottled up like this. This is not right. I'm
Right.
wearing ties and you know, all this stuff, and you know, I've got all these ties secondhand, and I'm like, this is not me.
Right.
But I kept at it, and Wells Fargo was opening up an investment service at that time. So they poached all the people, all the good players at Prudential, and I was lucky enough to get poached. So I went from the Prudential and I went to work for Wells Fargo Investment Services. And I started doing that, and I said, oh man, here I am back in this cubicle. I got a base, they're paying me, so I don't have to get out there and hustle like I did before, because I got the money coming in.
Right.
But I kept my Park and Rec job though. I worked Park and Rec on the weekends and as needed. So I would leave work and maybe go open up a gym for 4 hours.
I've seen you.
Right?
I just seen
Yeah.
you work.
So I would do that. And I was like, I have more fun doing this than wearing this suit and tie, crunching numbers for
Right.
for the man, basically. Right? And I said, you know what? I might not make as much money, but let me go do something I like and that I love,
Yeah.
instead of doing something that is a necessity.
Right.
And so I took a leap of faith, and I just started. I was a rec director, so I started applying for permanent rec jobs around the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And so I started interviewing, and you know, one I got all the way to the end, and it was like I think it was San Carlos. It was actually the head of recreation for San Carlos. So I'm in the interview and I'm giving them my spiel, and I mean, you know, I was there for midnight basketball. I helped open Friday Night Fun in the city. I mean, I was the one who thought of Friday Night Fun, which is taking kids out of their area in vans or buses to Alcatraz and to different places, because you know, there's kids in the neighborhood they've never been there.
Never been even out
They've
the
never been
neighborhood.
across the Golden Gate.
They ain't been across the city.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, when I grew up in my era, you lived in Fillmore, you didn't go to Hunters Point.
Yeah.
You just didn't. You just didn't go. And the dudes in Hunters Point, they didn't come to Fillmore
Yeah.
because it was like that. You come to Fillmore and you say you're from Hunters Point. Oh, you better be ready, and vice versa. I'm glad we got over that.
Yep.
I mean, there's still a little smattering of that today, but there's not as many of us as there was back then.
Right.
But so I helped start these programs, and these are monumental programs in San Francisco. So going out to San Carlos, I was like, this is cake. This is a done deal.
Yeah.
Man, you know, these kids took my ideas, gave it to their intern that was applying.
I remember when you were
And he ran with all that,
Yeah.
and they said thanks, but no thanks. But then from that, I got to be the recreation director for the Navy at Treasure Island. That experience of that rejection led me to something else that got me to the road of where I'm leading to today. So I was a recreation director for the Navy. It was the second best job I've ever had. The first best being the fire department. But I used to play golf on duty. My job was organizing leagues for the young naval personnel.
You know, I remember that when you started doing the golf
Man.
program and taking the kids to the golf.
Unbelievable. I couldn't believe they paid me for that. I'd be doing it today. If they never closed Treasure Island, I'd still be there. Because I would take the young naval guys to Pier 39. And so my job was just to make sure they didn't go to jail and that they all came back on base safely.
Yeah.
That's my job. To organize softball, basketball leagues for the men and adults and for the teenagers. Run a after-school program. I was in charge of all the, basically anything that went on in that place that from the ages of 8 to 25, I was in charge of.
Wow.
And I had a staff, and it's my first thing of running a staff, having a budget, getting grants. So I was working at Prudential and Wells Fargo. Now I'm putting some tools together of what I've learned, and I'm using my college, my sociology, my skills with people to better other people's lives. So I'm in my element right now.
And you know what's strange? The Park and Rec department from the 60s, I'm going to say 50s, 60s, 70s, was probably the greatest park and rec in the country because of the social recreation.
Yes.
It was social recreation.
Yes.
And when the 2000s came, they got rid of social recreation, where you could just drop by and play ball. Where you could, they started implementing, you can't just go in now. They start slowly. I knew they had that in the South City. You know, you couldn't just walk in the gym. You had to pay $1.50.
Right, yeah, $1.50.
Whatever
They
they're
had
doing,
that
whatever
daily
they're
too.
doing. But in San Francisco, everything was free. You
And
didn't
that's
have
how it
to
should
pay
be.
for the summer. You didn't have to pay for camp. And we took the kids to camping. I remember when I was a kid, the military, the Marines, every summer our parents go, you going to the Marine camps thing. You going for the whole summer. You up in the mountains in Yosemite with the bears, and you trying to live off the land. They teach you how to ride horses, you fishing with sticks. And the Marines got you. Your parents signed in. You ain't coming home.
I know a lot of people wanted to go home. I used to go to that fly camp. Everybody's like, I want to go 3 miles away. I'm not going anywhere. Get on that horse.
Yeah, man.
Mendocino.
Man, and the only meal they give you was breakfast. So you have to hunt.
Well, that's at your camp. So you fed us at my
You had to fish for your
Why
dinner.
camp you got fed?
Yeah, you had to fish for your dinner. So we went fishing. We had to pull berries. There were certain veggies they would plant around. You had to harvest them, and it was a trip because to learn that, and then it'd be 100 degrees in the daytime, and then you'd be sleeping on ice at night. There's a whole but them times is what made us better. I think what happened today, we forgot how to talk to each other.
I think so.
Because of the cell phones, even our kids today, they want to text you. You know, even your kid,
Sure.
grown kids,
Oh, yeah.
they want to text you.
Oh, yeah.
There's no, call me, I want to hear your voice.
Yeah.
I'll be like, that might not even be my son texting me. So somebody got it. I have a
I've
phone.
seen
You
so
know,
many times
yeah.
where you see somebody with their head down
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they're walking and they run right into a pole
Man.
Yeah.
because they don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
But this is a beautiful city. Open your eyes, take a look
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
That text can wait. You can text when you get home.
Yeah.
And now,
Hmm.
if you're walking and you're looking at your phone, you might step in something
Yeah.
because there's stuff on the sidewalk nowadays.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and I've seen it. I've seen people slip. I've been in restaurants and move around some, you know, debris on the street. And they come by on their cell phone. They're looking down. They step right in it and slip and fall right in it. And I was like,
Yeah.
it was only a matter of time.
But now, we're going to speed it up a little bit.
Okay.
You decided to make your decision to, what made you make a decision to go into the fire department?
So before, so I was working for the Navy at Treasure Island, and the naval base was closing. So you had all these government entities coming in trying to recruit, you know, because I was a permanent government employee. I was a GS 11. Okay, so that's, you know, you're making a pretty decent wage.
Yeah.
And you know, I was in charge of a program, so I knew how to run a program. So I was thinking maybe I'll go work for another naval base. But the closest naval bases were kind of far, so I was like, okay, maybe I'll transfer to the Army and work at the Presidio. But they're closing Treasure Island and Presidio at the same time. So the nearest base that I was going to work with was way in Monterey. Do you believe I was contemplating driving all the way out to Monterey to work?
Yes.
We was.
Yeah, we had
I was
to.
like, okay, what time would I have to wake up?
Yeah.
How long is it going to take me to get home?
2.5 hours.
And so I was contemplating working for Monterey.
Mhm.
But the United States Customs Agency came in and they told me that I would make this much money and that I could stay in the Bay Area. I didn't have to move. And this is the training they were going to give me. And I signed up. But it took, so the government, anytime you do working for the government, the city, it takes a long, the background checks. I mean, this is the FBI. This is when Customs was under the Treasury Department. Now it's Homeland Security.
Okay.
But so they had the FBI agents talking to
Yeah.
your neighbors, you know,
Anytime we
lie
applied for these
detector,
jobs.
and all
Oh,
these
man.
different.
Yeah, it's hard, man, back in the day.
I mean, all these different hoops to jump through.
How
So
many interviews?
it really took
Yeah.
probably 8 months.
Yeah.
So I went back to Park and Rec, working part-time, and that calling every month, like, when are you gonna hire me? When are you gonna hire me? And so I worked for the United States Customs Agency. I got in, I went to Glencoe, Georgia, did my training there, and that's the job I was gonna have. I'm surfing one day. A couple of my friends, Mark Swanson, Sam Ho, a bunch of other cats, they were like, hey, we're gonna go take fire department test. And I was like, what? Don't you see these waves out here? You know, what do you mean you're gonna take the test? And they're like, hey man, you should just take the test, you never know. So I had no inkling of being a firefighter. I was happy being a custom agent. I had a gun, I had a car, you know, I
Yeah.
was married, you know, I had a good life. I was like, oh, this is a 20-year career, I get to retire, I can go into private service and work security or do something for them, you know. And so I had it all set out. But I said, okay, let me go down with my boys and take this test. Hey, you never know. So I take the test. 2.5 years later,
That's what it
I'm
takes.
at work. I get a call on a Friday. Hi, would you like to be a part of the 100th class in the San Francisco Fire Department? We start on Monday. And I said, let me think. So we were doing mandatory overtime back then. So we were working 60 to 70 hours a week in the United States Customs Agency, working at seaports, airports.
Yeah, a lot of work.
You know, it's grueling. I mean, you're checking bags, you're checking cargo. It's not something I liked it.
Yeah.
I love my job. But when they told me
2 days a week.
that
2 days a
work 9 days a month,
Right.
and I can still work with people and interact with people, and I can be outside, and you know, fire doesn't. You should always have a fear of fire.
Yeah.
But fire didn't scare me per se because I was already, you know, tackling people and arresting people. So that's just another.
On the film.
Yeah, I'm from
Yeah.
I mean, so
You gonna figure it out.
I'll figure it out. I'll make do.
Yeah.
So I said I have to turn in my badge and shield. I'll make it on Tuesday. They said okay. I show up on Tuesday. They had already started on Monday. On Wednesday, they watched a movie, and this movie has. I mean, this is a cold movie. It's the movie that I don't think they do. I'm sure they don't do this anymore because I was a trainer and we didn't do it. But when I was in the tower, they show this movie of a raging fire, and then they show people like coming out and they're deceased, and they show all the stuff that like a movie of like what we do. And I was like, oh, I might have made the wrong decision. This is some serious business. There's this one cat in the class.
This ain't just a job.
No, this is more no adventure, okay? So there's one cat in the class, he said, oh no, I'm out. And he left. And we're like, hey man, come on in. And he left. I remember that night, I called back at the custom agency and I said, hey, I don't know if I made the right decision. Can I come back if I want to? And to their credit, and much love out to the United States Customs Agency and all the people out there protecting our borders. It's a tough job. They said, "Hey Sherman, you're our guy. You can come back. Hey, if this doesn't work out 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, even 6 months, you come right on back. Your badge is waiting for you." Man, that teared me up.
Yeah,
man.
that's cool.
I want to admit it teared me up because, we don't get that type of support.
We don't get
and love.
second chances.
We don't get second chances in life.
Yeah.
And thinking about it now, it actually touches my heart that somebody was looking out for me and offered me the opportunity to come back if what I was doing now wasn't successful.
Yeah.
So I was really, I said, okay, but let me stick this out because I'm not a quitter. And just because they showed some film of these people having problems, that might not be me. Let me keep on. I started it. I'm going to finish. Let me keep going. And I had a good group of guys and gals in my class, and we all made it through. Nobody got dropped out. Everybody made it, and I made it through. The physical stuff was easy. The tests were easy for me. The medical part was the hard part for me because back then you would study all this material, but the test had nothing to do with the stuff you were studying. I was like, hey, I don't understand this. But they were under the assumption of if you know this, then you should know that. But they didn't really teach it that way.
Yeah.
So
But
I
you
had to
knew-
do more studying for the
But
EMT side.
you knew a lot because for being in park and rec, your first aid,
Yeah.
it's a high level first aid to have your park and rec. Even into the military, it's a high level first aid. That we all went through back then. They don't do that today, but
No.
back then you had to know this stuff, and so that kind of got you through what you needed to do, and stuff. Because strange. I had an opportunity to go for that job at Treasure Island.
Really? Park and rec?
Yeah, and because what happened with
Well, I'm
me,
glad you didn't. Because I'm probably the guy.
what happened with me is I was in that gang task force police department,
Yeah.
and I went into Park and Rec. I did inquire about it, and they called me 3 times. But once I got into Park and Rec full time,
Yeah,
I let that go. But when I look back on it, I said, man, I would probably been the same as you, taking the customs and everything.
Yeah.
It would have been the same route. But it's just amazing how that particular Park and Rec class is how much we are more advanced than even today. Even though it's when the 80s came, all the political and the craziness came into all departments all through the country.
Right.
All through the country. The police department was
Reagan,
in trouble.
yeah.
The fire department was in trouble because them drugs even affected their departments. It was just crazy what was going on, and but for me, you got into the fire department, and I heard of that that Sherman's going into the fire, but I also knew that you were a businessman downtown you know, because I saw you one day. You said you
Wear my suit. And
yeah, and everything. And I
suit,
said,
yeah.
and I looked at you and I said, oh, Sherman, yeah, he gonna probably be a top lawyer or something. You know, I didn't know what he was.
Yeah.
But I just spoke to him. I said, you still surfing? He said, yeah, Ripper. And we talked. And I had to go that day. And I would every blue moon see you, but it would be like quick.
Yes, sporadic.
It'd be so quick. And but I already knew you'd be, you know, you're gonna be something special. You know, so now that you're in the fire department, and we're gonna move fast to this because I got some things I want to talk to you about.
Sure.
Your first serious fire that you had to go to. That
You want to talk about my first fire or my first serious fire?
Let's talk about your first fire, then we go to your first serious fire.
I was one of the lucky ones.
Okay.
My first probate house was Station 11, one of the great firehouses in San Francisco.
Okay.
I caught a fire my first day of work.
Wow.
So we had a bet in the tower who would catch their first fire, and no one paid me because I caught my first fire the first day. So this was the mission. This is the 90s.
Well,
The mission is rolling. I mean, I was catching fires left and right at Station 11, and I was catching 2 a day. And,
oh,
you know,
man.
3 watches in a row. I mean, it was rolling.
Man.
And I had a great probie boss, Kip Gargano, who I wish I could see, and hope he's doing okay. Great guy, taught me a lot. Con Lucy, some really great firemen at Station 11. And I wish I could have spent my whole 20 years at Station 11. I mean, great group of guys. I learned a lot, had a lot of laughs, caught a lot of fires, and that kind of shaped me to be the firefighter I am today because I got experience right off the bat.
Okay.
I mean, because some guys you could go, well, back then you catch way more fires than you do now. Each generation catches more fires than the next generation because, fire prevention and, the types of materials they use are better, but we know that they give us cancer now because of fire retardants, okay? But that's, we can save that for later. But, so I was built off of fire. I caught so many fires that I got a little, I won't say comfort in it, but I'm used to the routine of what you need to do when you catch a fire.
Yeah.
And I'm used to seeing how the fire moves and the smoke moves and being able to read it to know that what we need to do and what we need not to do.
Okay.
And that all starts from, that first year, those first couple of years of being formed and the bosses that you had. So I went from Station 11 catching fires all the time to Station 14 and catching practically no fires. I mean, when I was at Station 14, great. I had Don Dryden, who was my probie boss. He was really into drilling. And at 11, we didn't drill as much because we caught so many fires. That was your drill, because you're learning on the job. You're catching the fires, so we can knock off all these things in your book because you did this, that, and the other at the fire. But at 14, I wasn't really catching fires. I catch fires on details, but when I stayed at Station 14, I was the water leak guy. So I mean, I caught so many water leaks at Station 14, I thought I was surfing all the time. I mean, it was water leak after water leak. So it's a different type of job. So I got good in the other part of the job, the mop up and drilling, because Captain Dryden, he was a lieutenant back then, and that's what he did. He loved to drill. So years later, I really thanked him for that, because all those drills that he gave me made me become a better tiller, a better driver, because I got to drive a lot, I got to tiller a lot, I got to do the routines of same ladder over and over and over again. And that just made me a better firefighter, And if I would have went to another firehouse that was all fires, I wouldn't have probably got that in my toolbox. I wouldn't have been able to
so
get
you
those
understand both sides.
So I understand both sides, correct.
Yeah. So what was your first serious fire where you thought, oh man, I might be done for it? What's going on?
So I've had 2 fires in my lifetime where I thought, that's it.
Okay.
Dominus Mo Padres. Jesus, get me out of here. And let me pray, because I might not make it. And if I don't make it, when you in those situations, first thing you think about is your family. You know,
Yeah.
you think about your kids and
Yeah.
how they're gonna grow up without you.
Man.
You think about your wife. You know, you think about not seeing, you know, the light of day. But so, and it's a story I want to tell because it's a good story because it tells you what not to do. Because it was a mistake on my part that put me into this situation. Okay, so I had about, I want to say maybe 8 years in the fire department, and we were out for a ride checking out the neighborhood. I was at Station 13, and we were on the way back to the station. We could kind of smell something. I was like, "Hey, do you guys smell that?" And they're like, you know, it's probably, you know, a stove or a cooking, somebody turning on to cook, you know, at a restaurant or something like that. I was like, "Oh, okay." So we're getting ready to go back to the station, and box, you know, 1268 or wherever it was. We were just over there. So the place where we had just drove by, there's a fire there. We get back, there's a fire going on, whatever. We go to the courtyard. It's a big apartment building that had a courtyard, so we got in through that way. And I was the only one who brought a saw. And so they were trying to get through this bathroom to make entry to the courtyard. And I was, as they say, the low man. The low man's the guy with the least amount of time. So I was the low man, but I was with another truck company because my truck company was still below, so I was with another truck company. And I had to take off my Scott to get through the window because the window is a bathroom window, so bathroom windows are kind of small. So I take off my Scott, which is the breathing apparatus that helps us to breathe in the environment when it's smoky.
Yeah.
All right, so I take that off. I set my saw down. I go in through the window. There's no smoke or fire in there, so I'm thinking, okay, I'll just go through the front, open the door like they want, and get back onto it. So what I should have done is put my Scott back on. When I made it through the window, I should have got my Scott and then put it back on, but I left it because there was no smoke.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm with the guys from 3, so this is the old days where all these guys were really big and manly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the busiest stations in the nation. So these are the guys.
Yeah.
You know, they've been through it. So I don't want to seem like, you know, I don't want to put my Scott back on because then I seem, this is back in the day, I don't want to seem like I'm, you know, meek and not, you know, I don't want to be non-manly.
Yeah.
So, but I should have put it back on. And that's a lesson. So I didn't put it back on. I go through the bathroom. I open the door. No big deal. I close that door. Poof! Smoke everywhere. And I'm like, oh, I think I done made a mistake. So, you know, my training is you get down on the ground because you can breathe better down there. And you find a wall, and you follow that wall to a door, and you just keep doing that till you get out. So I did that. So I found, you know, the wall, and I'm crawling through, and it's smokier and smokier, and I'm coughing, and there's no one. I can hear people on the outside, but nobody. I'm the only one in this apartment by myself because nobody came behind me because nobody else could fit through the window. Okay, so I'm thinking I need to either go back to the bathroom to get out or keep going, but that's when my ego got involved. Okay, and this is why I don't use ego anymore. And my ego said, now if you go back to this bathroom and back through this thing, they're gonna think you're a punk. Right?
Yeah.
They're gonna think you're a punk. They gave you a job to do.
Yeah.
They want you to open the front door. You need to do your job.
Wow.
If you go back, then they're gonna look at you like, huh, you know, these guys from 13, right? So I carry on. So I'm on the, and as I go deeper and deeper into this apartment, it's smokier, and now I can start to feel heat.
Wow.
And now I knew right then I made a mistake. It's better to be thought of as a punk and be alive than a hero and be dead. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
So I tried to go back. I couldn't find. There's too much smoke. I didn't know.
Deep in there
I'm
now.
too deep. I don't know how to get back, and I don't know where I'm going. And I'm starting to cough, and I'm losing. You know, I'm feeling.
That
I'm
oxygen
losing
in
the.
your body,
You
yeah.
know, I don't have the energy. I'm feeling like I might not make it to this door. I kept going, and there was that point where I was like, well, this is it, because I can't breathe. I'm coughing. I'm as low as I can go. Now I'm feeling heat, I don't have my Scott. There's nobody here. I'm calling for help. No one can hear me.
Right.
So this is it.
Wow.
This is it. I'm gonna die from smoke inhalation because most of the people die. They don't
the
die
smoke.
from the fire.
Right.
They die from the smoke. Okay. So I'm crawling, and I'm really barely crawling at this point. I can't find the door. I can't see where I'm going. I'm thinking about my wife and my family. A guy busts in through the front door, grabs me by my collar, literally with one hand, and throws me into the hallway. You're gonna be all right, kid. I'm coughing and snot coming out my nose. I'm barely making it. You're gonna be all right, kid. He goes in through the door and they do their work, and they left me in the hallway. And I'm getting fresh air from the front door. I make it out to the front door. I go sit back on the back of the rig, drink water, clear my eyes, and I just sit there for a while, going, damn. I was that close. If this dude didn't break in the door at that exact moment, they're gonna break in the door later and find me land right by the front door.
He didn't even blink an eye.
He didn't blink an eye. He just grabbed me, threw me in the
And he
hallway.
knew
kept-
you'd be all right.
kept moving. He knew I was gonna be all right. But it's the fact that I was probably 6 feet away from the front door.
You couldn't even see
I
it.
couldn't see it. And that's where we find a lot of people, right by the door.
Yeah.
They almost make it, but they couldn't. And that could have been me.
That was it.
And that's only one of the 2 times.
Yeah.
The other time I don't really want to talk about. because
I just wanted to
it'll
know.
bring back some really bad memories.
Yeah, yeah.
And this one was one that's a lesson for other people.
Yeah.
You go through something, you get your Scott, you put your Scott back
Yeah.
on, and you get your tool.
Yeah.
Because now I have my tool, I have my Scott. If I come into a situation, I can break through a door, I can break through the wall and get to safety.
You know
But I
what?
had nothing.
I'm going to say this. You know what's strange
That's a
about
lesson.
that time? I don't care what department you work for. If you work for Park and Rec, you never know if you're going to get killed with working with the kids
Yeah.
you're working with.
Especially
We had a
midnight
lot of
basketball.
shootings.
Yeah.
I just remember in Jolie where we were in there and all of a
Mhm.
sudden these guys come in the gym.
Yeah.
They don't care who's in there.
Do not.
Right.
If the guy that was in there that they saw,
That they wanted.
everybody was gone. And every day we came to work like that. And the police have to deal with stuff. The fire department have to go to places where they dealing with these guys.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, let him burn. They tell you let him burn. You know what you gonna do. You're in a situation. So the 90s and the 80s was really tough to work for the city in any kind of capacity.
Right.
Because especially public work, just being a janitor, you're trying to do stuff, and the dudes come in there, we're gonna take care of this dude. You're dealing
Yeah.
with stuff that
That's
that's
not normal.
Yeah, that's not normal during that time. And
People don't really realize.
yeah, and they used to say, y'all get paid, y'all get all this money, you get paid for that. I'd be like, bro, it's a lot of paperwork to our jobs, it's a lot of work to our job. And basically, the only thing you don't realize is the human element that we face every day. We face the human element, and when you work in parks like Crocker, you face the animal element. You face all kinds of elements that you don't think you don't. People don't know we deal with the trees, the fields, the chalking, the dynamics of what's different neighborhoods, what's going on here and here and there and there.
Yeah.
The committee, and I just realized, same with the fire department, because I realized a lot of Park and Rec directors went into the fire department. When
They did.
I started watching them
They did.
go in,
Yeah.
especially some of the women, and I started watching them come.
Attica Bolden.
Yeah,
works
she still did.
She's
Attica's
working
yeah,
for the fire department. She's a captain in
captain too.
yeah,
huh?
yeah, in
Wow.
investigations. Yeah.
So,
she worked Park and Rec.
So it's amazing how you guys now, you're in the fire department, you had some tough times and you had some great times.
Great times.
How did you decide to start running up the ranks? And first, what did you see with especially African American firemen, what you knew we needed to maintain some of the challenges in the fire department?
Well, that didn't come till later.
Okay.
I loved being at 13 back then. The only reason I left is I was one of the junior guys on the truck, and I was always going to be the junior guy on the truck because it was a tight-knit group. It was all the same guys. They never left.
Right.
So since they're ahead of me, I'm never going to be ahead of them. they have more time than me. I'm never gonna have more time than them.
Right.
And I wanted to tiller. I like when I tiller, it's the back of the truck. You know, Kramer, he's in the back. That's that guy. So I got the tiller at 13. You know, somebody was injured, and I got the tiller for about probably 6-7 months straight. And I liked it because the tiller is pretty much in charge of all the tools. He's the one that cut the hole, and that was my talent. I cut the hole. When we got fires, there's certain guys who would do certain things. One guy, he knew how to get through any door.
Right.
You know, one guy just knew where the seat of the fire was. There's, you know, people develop talents over time.
Yeah.
And one of my talents was I'm good at finding the fire on the roof and cutting the hole. I was just good at it.
Right.
And so that's what the tiller does most of the time.
Wow. Okay.
So that's what I want to be, a tiller. But I could never be a tiller working at my station because these other guys were never going to go anywhere.
Right.
So one day, we get a call, and I still remember it because this is one of the reasons why I left 13 to go to 10. We got a call on the 25th floor. The elevators don't work. At 2:30 in the morning to get this lady in a wheelchair and bring her down to the first floor. So we're taking turns every 10, you know, about every 6 floors, we would switch off.
Yeah.
And so on the way up, we have to walk all the way up. And I remember one of the gals who were detailed in, she was like, go on without me. About the 16th floor, she was done because she was from a different firehouse. They're not walking 20 stories, you know, regularly. But for us, we're like, okay, we do. Downtown, that's what you do. So you're like, okay, no big deal. So we get up, we get the lady, and as I'm walking down, I'm like, you know, there's other firehouses that I could be at. I don't have to do this. This is 2:30 in the morning. I'm on the 25th story, and I'm walking stairs, getting the lady down to the first flight. I said, I could be doing something else. I could be going somewhere else. So that list I put in for 10, and for the tiller spot at 10.
Right.
And so it's a bunch of factors. I wanted to be a tiller. Kind of got tired of walking stories.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get back to a neighborhood firehouse. And 10 was the perfect time to go because great group of guys, lots of fire.
Yeah.
So it was a good time to make a good move.
Yeah.
Because my first.
You still at 10?
Oh no, I'm at Station 2. I'm a captain now, so you move. You have to keep moving.
Yeah.
So I guess being at 10 was where I kind of decided to like, okay, I need to start moving up. You know, you got to keep growing because if you're not growing, you're moving backward, right?
Right.
You got to keep moving forward, right? So once I got used to being a tiller, I was a tiller for like 5 years there. So I've been on the truck pretty much my whole career. You know, I've had sporadic times on the engine, but I'm a truckie. You know, I'm a truck guy. And so the first test, they didn't have tests. Okay, the first 10 years of my career, actually probably 11, there was no tests. Because they had a test, and then, you know, there was some shenanigans, and there wasn't another test. They just didn't have
a
one.
bunch of shenanigans.
Oh, a lot of shenanigans.
In all departments.
And so it was by seniority.
Yeah.
So there were guys who were going out on seniority who were firemen who retired as captains, and lieutenants who retired as chiefs, you know, because there was no test. So it was by seniority, and people, as you have more time, then you move into a different position. And so I asked one of the guys when they were going to have a test why he wanted to become an officer. And he told me that he didn't want a guy with no time, which is, you know, if you have 10, 15 years in, it's hard for you to take orders from a guy with 3 years in, a guy or a gal. I mean, it's just human nature, right? You've been there longer, you know more, but I got to take orders from this person. So that's in any corporation, or if the new guy comes in and now all of a sudden they're your boss,
like guys
you
graduating
just
out
feel
of
funny
college.
about it.
Yeah,
You know, you feel funny about it.
Yeah.
And so he said he didn't want somebody with less time in telling him what to do. And I said, well, what difference does it make? Because we're all going to make decisions. He goes, well, not everybody's built the same. Some guys will know that they don't have that much time and appreciate your time and use your talents and expertise. But other people will be, you do it my way, and this is the way it's going to be. And well, they're the ones with the bugles, so you know it's paramilitary. So even though you might not like it, you know you just toe the line. So I said, okay, well, you know, let me take one of these tests.
Right.
You know, and I studied my first test. I studied with I was still at 13 is with a friend of mine, Perry Choi, who passed away, and we studied for our first lieutenant's test, and you know we didn't do too well. I mean, we made the list, but you know we didn't get high.
Yeah, you saw.
You know, but it was the first test that they ever had, and the whole time I was in, and there was no like, this is how you take this test.
Yeah.
You know, there's no, you didn't have any guidance.
Okay.
You're just kind of taking it. You know, you never took it. No one else taking it. No one had taken a test. So you just study the material that the pamphlet told you and do the best you can. And so my study partner, I studied with Perry and I studied with Kirby Lau.
Okay.
And so my Kirby Lau, I think he finished like 39. And like we studied the same material.
Yeah.
We had the same answers.
Yeah.
But I finished like 300.
Okay.
So I was not part of the 300 club, they called it. But this was out of 1,000 people. So
Yeah.
300 is not bad out of 1,000. But I changed one of my answers. At the end, and we studied, and he told me, and you never change your answer. Once it's done, once it's written, you probably had it right the first time, move on. But I changed something because on the schematic, on one schematic, they had a hydrant or standpipes. On the other schematic, it was gone.
Okay.
So I thought I made a mistake. I was like, well, if there's nothing here, the answer I gave doesn't make sense.
So you went back.
So I went
Yep,
back,
yep.
and I should have left it,
Yeah.
okay? Because the first schematic was right, but the second schematic was wrong. It was just an error,
Yeah.
okay? But I changed that answer, and that answer was worth like 80 points or something
Oh.
like that. And so that's the difference.
Right.
So my study partner got a job I didn't, but I didn't take it to like it's their fault, even though it was, because schematic was wrong. I just said, well, I got to do better.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not my time. Maybe this is not what God wants for me at this time.
Yeah.
And which was a blessing, because that's when I went to 10. That's when I got to become a tiller, and that's when I got to learn my job even better. Okay. So then the next time I took the test, I was prepared, not only for taking the test, but as a firefighter leading other firefighters into a burning building, I was better prepared. So I really needed to fail that test, because that made me a better firefighter.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. So now you're a lieutenant. You passed the test, and now you're a leader of men.
And women, and
And
women,
women.
and women.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it like it's a leader of firefighters.
Firefighters.
You're a leader of firefighters, and you walk in the station for the first time with that lieutenant ranking, and
Yeah.
you realize I'm making these decisions.
Yeah.
And how was that? What was that like to have the, and you're looking at these people that
Yeah.
you break with
Yeah.
all these years, and now you're a leader.
Well,
So-
there's a transition,
Yeah.
but since I took the test later in my career, I mean, I already had 14 years in when I became a lieutenant. So there's a different respect when you have more time in and you go up the ranks than when you have less time. Because people know, well, okay, well, he has 14 years in, at least he put in his time,
Right.
right? Or she put in her time.
Yeah.
So it's different. So it was an easier transition.
Yeah.
Except I was on the engine to start out, so I had to kind of get back into the engine swing of things, more medicals, taking out the hose more, and it's just a different mentality. The engine mentality is different than the truck mentality. So I had to, reorientate that. But you have different challenges when you're in charge than you do when you're just part of the crew.
Yeah.
And they call it, babysitting, because there's always that one person that's a character that doesn't really want to follow the game plan. Just like a football or baseball team or basketball team, there's always somebody who doesn't want to follow like everybody else follows. And so the challenge is trying to get that person on board with what you're trying to do and what the department's trying to do and doing the mission. That's the challenge.
Yeah, because anytime you're in a supervisor's role, you got to keep the department safe.
Yes.
Because you're dealing with not only with that, you're dealing with the city attorneys. All kinds of things go on when you're in a position.
Right. Because
And these reports.
when the buck
and
stops, it's your fault.
It's your fault.
Yeah,
when
that's
it comes,
what-
when
that's
it
the
comes
part I
down
don't
to
like.
it. Yeah.
That's the part I don't
Yeah,
like.
when it comes
You know,
down to
I'm
it.
going down for what this guy did. He's not fair. You know, he's an adult. You
And then
know.
you sit in front of that fireboard and you just looking, and
Yeah.
people looking at you with malice in their eyes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
take you down.
It's a hard.
Right.
And the other person still got their job. They drive.
Right.
Right.
Oh yeah, yeah. See, you know, there's. You can ask any officer,
Yeah.
and their best times were
Yeah.
with the men and women,
Yes.
with the guys.
Yeah.
You know, because you didn't have any responsibility.
Yeah. And now you captain.
And now, when you have a little responsibility, things change.
Yeah.
You don't change, but the system changes you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the system
Yeah.
says that if something goes wrong, it's your fault.
Yeah.
So the system changes how you have to.
So
be.
now,
It's not you.
Yeah.
'Cause they always say, "Oh, you've changed. You've done this." No, you're still the same,
Yeah.
but the system didn't change.
But
Yeah.
also your vantage point changes too,
Yes.
right? You see things on a bigger scale.
You're supposed to see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Okay, as an officer.
Yeah.
So, firefighters task oriented.
Mhm.
The officer's supposed to see the big picture.
the super big.
Okay, like,
Yeah.
okay, we're doing this, but the fire might move here, so we need to get out of this spot
Yeah.
and move over to there because this spot's not going to be tenable in a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Like when you're a truck officer, we cut the hole, you know, the fire's coming out of the hole, and now you're looking and checking the exposures and you're checking different where the fire might go. Well, now the roof's starting to feel spongy. Well, there's a difference between a roof being normally spongy, because when you walk on a roof, it's spongy anyway.
Yeah.
But then being fire underneath it's spongy.
Yeah.
And you have to know the difference. So you have to be able to discern that, okay, we've done what we need to do over here. We need to leave this spot right here and go over down there to safety.
Yeah.
Because this spot is
It's about
not,
to go.
is about to go.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
you know, you have to make that call. But
Now-
that comes with experience.
And now, from the leader of men,
Yes.
you're political as captain. So you're dealing with not only with the chief,
Yes.
not only with the chief of the police department, not only the mayor, the
Yes.
captain, and wherever your section is political now.
Sure.
And being a political as well as in charge is such a different animal because
Mhm.
I've seen it, I've been there.
Right.
And to be a part of the political, people that's in the political position do not understand what you do. They think they understand it, but they don't understand because they're not out there in the field of the man and the rules and the protocol, how things work in each department. But the political sits up and has to answer, they answer to the people. And
Yes.
the people not understanding. So being a captain, how have you deciphered on the political part, the people, and your department?
Well, I'll tell you, the jobs I've had and the upbringing I've had, and every stage of your life leads you to where you are today,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
Because you're taking, because I would hope that I have a little gift of gab and I can, you know, build some bridges. That's my thing. I like to build bridges, not tear them down.
Yeah.
So when I was a captain at Station 31, I was like, okay, let's talk to the priest. Let's have them over for dinner. Let's
Yes.
talk to the captain of the police department.
Yes.
Let's have them over for dinner.
Mhm.
Let's get some neighborhood people that
Get
are
on
doing
board,
things, and
yeah.
let's have them over so we can be, our firehouse can be really a part of that neighborhood.
Right.
And so, like, those are things that were going through my mind that you need to do as a captain. You need to know who the police chief in your area is.
Who's the supervisor in
you
there.
yeah, you need to know the supervisor. You need to know the community leaders, because you might need to call on them to help you for something, or they might need to call on you. And if they don't know who you are, how can they call on you?
Yes.
But you need to be the one reaching out. So that takes a little bit of time, because there's some people who come to work, they clock in, and they clock out.
Mhm.
So I've always been, I was a station steward for 14 years. I was on the cancer board for the San Francisco Fire Department when it first started, when it was just 4 of us in a meeting room, and it's a huge foundation
Cancer
now.
will hit all our
Great,
departments.
great job by Tony Stefani. He's really
Yeah.
led that organization and made a big impact on our department and departments in America, because we were the first cancer prevention board in the
I'm
nation.
gonna interrupt for a second.
Wow.
The first one.
I just want to say something to you. Every city agency has been struck with cancer.
Every city.
From Park and Rec, from police.
Yes.
My sister died of cancer being a lieutenant in the police
Wow.
department. Okay, and a lot of my friends have died of cancer that I work with personally.
Right.
From the asbestos in the buildings.
Mhm.
I remember when Park and Rec had me work while they cleaned asbestos.
That's right. Is there any other better?
And
Right.
so,
Yeah, that's right.
and every department, that's why all them gyms got tore down.
Yes.
That's why all them fire station, the old ones got
Yeah.
tore down and cleaned up.
Yep.
Because whatever that material was,
Uh-huh.
a lot of us got lupus, a lot of us got kidney disease, heart disease, and it
Kidney,
came
yeah.
from these buildings, and especially working in Hunters Point with all the radioactivity going through the pipes and stuff. I know y'all be really leery on the places y'all go up there in them areas and
Right.
stuff, but at the same time, I'm glad that the city finally, in all departments, really focusing on cancer for the first time, and it was the first beginning of that was the fire department.
Right.
You guys put that together. They start putting it together in the Park and Rec. They start putting it together in the police department about some of the things that's happening. This has got a lot better, and I especially appreciate London Breed, because she's seriously focusing
Mhm.
on some of the buildings, even the schools, the school district. They,
Right.
old schools, they got cancer. She's really focused on certain things that's really making a health difference in the city. So I really appreciate that. But at the same time, I am happy the fact that all of y'all are focused on that. But at the same time, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Sure.
With your position now, and when I mentioned to the great Ron Scott. I'm gonna
Ron
bring it
Scott.
up. I'm gonna
Hey,
bring
I
it
wouldn't
up.
be here without Ron Scott.
Yeah.
Ron Scott's the guy that put us back together.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Ron Scott. Ron Scott. First, I wanted to say thanks for Ron Scott for
Yeah.
reaching out to me.
Yeah.
And he made this all possible.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
he didn't even know that we knew each other.
No.
Yeah,
he didn't know.
But he made this all possible. And
And-
Ron's a cool together brother. And what
Yeah.
I appreciate about Ron,
Yeah.
his memory. He has a memory. I want his memory. He remembers names.
He better remember.
First and last name. He remembers dates. He remembers plays.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, how does he do this?
Yeah.
How do you
yeah,
have a memory?
yeah.
I wish I had the memory that Ron had.
Well, this is what I'm gonna say about it. I really wanted him to come in and talk.
Yeah.
And
That's
he
not his
said-
style. That's not him.
But I didn't think that was the issue. I just think that he knew it was a better way.
Hmm.
And he knew that what you represent, you
Yes.
represent them all.
Yeah.
And
I tried to.
Yeah, I represent all. And when he said Captain Tillman, I just wasn't tripping.
Yeah, you couldn't put the dots, right?
I just wasn't tripping. I know.
I mean, that's
I know.
Sherm
it's
from the
just-
Fillmore? No,
You know,
that ain't him.
that's my kid.
Mhm.
So when you called me,
Yeah,
I didn't even trip on the voice. I said,
Neither
let me
did I.
call Sherman back.
I did not.
And then all of a sudden he said, Sherman said, Rory, my coach.
Yeah.
I started rolling. I said, that's Sherman Tillman, right? And I was like, he captain, man. And I was so proud of him, man.
Oh,
And
thanks.
it blew me up, and I'm proud of Ron too, because
Yeah,
Ron is one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life.
he's real.
And
I mean,
I have never
Ron is-
seen I've never seen him not being a beautiful person.
Yeah.
And he smiled all the time,
All the
man.
time. He's happy.
Yeah, man. He just
Yeah.
give you a great thing, and his best friend Harold Keelan is one of the really his nicest guys, and
Yeah.
he's good friends with another great football player, Steve Sewell.
Mhm.
And these are guys
played
that
for Denver, I think, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
these are the guys that just made a difference growing up
Yeah.
in the city, and Ron's always been volunteering and doing things. So I'm just happy the fact.
He needs to
but-
come out to an event, though.
but
Ron.
when he told me what one of your positions was
Yeah.
about helping black firefighters and keeping them straight and keeping us straight and keeping the support.
Yeah.
When I grew up, black firefighters had it so hard,
Yeah.
and they had to go through a lot they had to work twice as hard, and they had a lot. They got criticized, even when they did good jobs. They didn't do a good enough job.
Yeah.
And what is the changes and the support that they have today to keep everything balanced? What are some of the things that you're doing to make sure everything's balanced?
You know, you don't, as a fireman
Yeah.
or a firefighter,
Yeah.
I don't think you notice all the things
Mhm.
that go on. It's not until you start moving up
Okay.
then you really see the light really clicks.
Yeah.
Something happens to you
Mhm.
that didn't happen to other people.
Mhm.
And then you go, well, this is not fair. Why can't all these other people do it and I can't do the same thing?
Right.
And that's when the light hits and you say, well, it can't be because of this, it can't be because of that. Is it because of this?
Right.
And you hope it is,
Right.
but there can be no other conclusions.
Yeah.
And so I think coming up, I didn't see that many black officers
Mhm.
in the beginning.
Mhm.
And it's according to where you're at in the city,
Mhm.
right? Because different people are in different areas.
Right.
And so black chiefs were mostly in Battalion 9 and Battalion 10.
Mhm.
And so I was downtown. And so I didn't see that many black officers.
Mhm.
And when I did, they were only there for the day, or they
Mhm.
weren't my officer.
Mhm.
So I had never had a black officer until I got to 10.
Mhm.
Okay, and Rich McGee was my captain,
okay.
and Rich McGee went to Cal.
Been around a long time.
Rich McGee went to Cal.
Yeah.
So
He's retired.
he's retired.
Yeah.
Good brother, nice, tall. I called him Xerxes.
Now,
You
he
know,
used
from
to do a lot
the.
of community stuff when he was young.
So I don't know his history
Yeah.
and his background. All I know is he hasn't invited me over. He's been wanting to invite me over. He's gonna redo his house. He's been redoing his house for like 20 years.
Tell him call. Tell him call. Tell him call.
I don't know what his deal is.
We take care of it.
You know, the guy's been redoing the longest remodel in history. But you know what? To bridge the gap, if everybody did the right thing, then there'd be no need for the Black Firefighters Association.
That's right.
Okay? There'd be no need for the Lost Spin Barrels Association. There'd be no need for the Asian Association.
Yeah.
There'd be no need for the Women Association.
That's
If
right.
everybody just did what was right.
Right.
And so what is right? Having everybody at the table, having everybody being able to give ideas. Because if you're not at the table,
You can't give ideas.
you can't give ideas, but if you're not a part of the discussion, you're the menu.
And you don't
Right?
have to understand. Yeah.
So what do I mean by that?
Yeah.
So if I'm not participating in leadership, the ideas of where this department's going, and you're around the table and no one looks like me's around that table, then I'm the meal that you're eating. You're singling out and picking out our players because we're not there to say no, don't do that. And I can point to, this is a positive interview. I don't want to point. There's a lot of things I can point to
No.
through the history
Yeah.
and through my career that has happened where you just go,
Yeah,
why?
that's right.
This doesn't make any sense. But
Yeah. But let me say.
what I can
Okay.
say
Yeah.
is our organization is a necessary organization. And our organization we're the leading organization doing things in the community.
Yeah.
That's the bread and butter. You have to this is a blessed job. I'm blessed. We all say we won the lottery as firefighters because we have a great career. We have, it's allowed us to, get my kid in college, it's allowed to go to private school, it's just allowed a great lifestyle. We pay for it because we get cancer in higher rates than the normal population, 3 times to 5 times greater. I've had a separated shoulder, I've torn my hamstring twice, I've had a torn labrum, so I've had some injuries that I wouldn't have had as a custom agent. Unless I caught a bullet or something like that. But so you pay for this. You have injuries that you wear. I have scars that I wouldn't have had if I wasn't a firefighter. Okay, so I paid my dues. So when people say something, I say, hey man, this scar, that scar, that came from doing this job. You can't call on me and talk about me unless you got something like that.
Yeah.
So you can say what you want, but spell my name right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that we are moving forward. I think we have a new chief, we have a new mayor, and
y'all really like y'all new chief. From what I hear, he's a good.
she's
she's
a good person.
she's
I
fair.
worked with her.
She's fair.
We're on the
Yeah.
cancer board together.
Yeah.
She's a fellow member of
Yeah.
Station 13, and
Yeah.
you know, we are hoping that we can come as one and keep going down the same road.
Yeah.
And so far, you know, we're down that road. We do have, I have to admit, there's some
It's gonna be tough.
things that have to be worked out,
Yeah.
but I think we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
There's some things that have to be worked out. I mean, we all have to play. Remember that we're here for the citizens of San Francisco as a whole.
Yes.
All of us together as a collective, not just certain people.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
And once we get over, you know, my number one thing is keep your ego out the game. Let's always keep moving forward. Don't hold any grudges with people, all right? Because me holding a grudge against you, maybe tomorrow you can help me get to where I need to go, and maybe tomorrow I can help you get to where you need to go. So let's squash all of these problems that we had in the past, and let's just keep a positive outlook and keep trying to do the best we can for the citizens of San Francisco. And what the citizens of San Francisco deserve is everybody having a stake and everybody having a voice.
Yeah.
And when you shut out one voice, you're shutting out
Every voice.
every voice. Okay?
Well, you know what, I will say this. The city has, I've been there I'm born and raised in General Hospital. I've seen the changes, and I've seen even in the department I went in, there always will be people that's negative. There always will be people have issues.
Yes.
But what I do understand is that there are more women as firefighters.
Yes. In
There-
San Francisco than any
Okay.
other department
Right.
in America.
Their LGBT communities
Yes.
is more fair for them to become firefighters.
Yes.
There's more African American firefighters
Well-
than
Well, no.
well, what I mean is you can get in if you work
Yes.
at what you're doing.
Yes.
If you want to be a firefighter, you put the work in, you got a good chance. You do the studying, you get to the right people. You know,
Correct.
I always tell young people, go volunteer.
Yes.
Be involved. Go meet, walk in that station, say, can I come and start? As a young boy, 15, 16, if this your goal, you get involved with the police. You try to be a cadet. If you want to be a plumber, get involved with the city
We have a
plumbing.
youth program.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got all kinds of things that you can do to become a leader in the fire department.
Yes.
If you've taken the test and you have scored and you did all your classes, go there. I took the test. My name is such. Introduce yourself. They might see your name on the list. You
Right.
just don't know. You have to become a family.
Yes.
In any department. You always have a rotten egg in the family.
Yes,
That's a
yes.
part of life.
Yeah.
But I believe when I see how y'all react today, that y'all the best fire department in the Bay Area
Mhm.
and probably the best fire department in the state. And
Well, we're going for the country. You
Yeah,
know.
well, no, you up there.
We're up there in the country.
Yeah,
you
you're
know.
up there.
We're the major leagues, so there's a top. They call it the major leagues.
Yeah.
So there's 5 fire departments that are
Yeah.
the major leagues in America. We got
Yeah.
New York.
Yep.
We have Boston, San Francisco, LA, and then after that, I guess it would either be Houston or Miami. I don't know which
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
you pick. But those are they call it the major leagues because we're still.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chicago. I did that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Chicago. So Chicago.
Yeah.
So these are the departments that are old school,
Yeah.
leather helmets,
Yeah.
wooden. You know, we have wooden ladders.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we pride ourselves on our traditions.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I do like, to me, all your departments are great. You know why? When a major fire breaks out, like one of them forest fires that's tearing the whole world up,
It's crazy.
and y'all all got to volunteer, get up there. You need
Yeah.
50 of our fire department
Right.
to volunteer.
We send them, yeah.
You need from Oakland, and y'all all in there together.
Yes.
That's what it should be all over the nation.
It should be like
Because
that.
and when it comes down to it, that fire got a cold personality, and he's looking at you and you're looking at him. It's either
Yeah.
you or me. And them 50, 60 men in that line got to challenge something that's coming at you with this power, with this speed, 50 miles an hour,
Yeah.
40 miles. People don't realize fires can travel and got personalities. Look at you.
Yeah.
Turn this
I don't mess with that wildland.
Yeah.
You can have the
So-
wildland stuff. I'm not messing with it.
But the funny part about
I'm
all
good.
this, the funny part about all this, I really appreciate it because firemen is just not fighting fires.
No,
They're breathing in your mouth, saving your life.
they are.
Okay, they're getting your children. They do kick cats out of the trees. They do.
Unfortunately, yeah.
They do save babies' lives, coming out, giving first aid. There's a lot of challenge, and even though they work 2 days a week at the station and they're on 2 days a week, but the funny part, they're 24 hours.
24 hours.
They're 24 hours.
Yes.
And that one call, they'd be gone for the rest of the day. They would not never be here. Because things go, I couldn't imagine 9/11, you were a fireman going into that building and dealing with them collapsing buildings and the issues that's going
I
on.
knew what I was
So,
doing that day. I
yeah.
was going into the station that day
Yeah.
it happened.
Yeah, and we have earthquakes coming. We don't
Yes.
know that, and them the boys that's gonna come out there and save your life, the fire department, the police department, the plumbing department, all of us have to get together, and all city
That's
agencies.
a great issue that you brought up.
All city agencies have to get together
Great issue.
to make this city work, because it's going to be a lot of hurt people if a major something happens. And I always sit back and go, the mayor has to be the leader. She can't blink an eye on death or life. She got to look at you, and she got to count on these captains, these chiefs, and these people are in place. They got a whole different animal to deal with, because even if something go wrong and we fighting, the lights is off, that chief is still in charge of the men, like a military.
Right.
And we have to still be out there. And I've always admired, and I'm gonna tell you something, I am so happy the fact that I see this man here today. It didn't matter what you did. I knew back then, if you was a doctor, a lawyer, you were gonna be the best at it.
Or try to be.
Yeah, put the work in.
Yeah.
I knew you would be a decent father. I knew you would be a great husband. But before we move forward, you got to talk to me about your wife and your children, and each one of them.
Well,
And because we didn't get to y'all, and I don't want to get jumped on when you get out here.
my wife, you're probably watching Big Brother and not watching me. I'll tell you that right
So
now.
let's get to your wife. Let's get to your 3 kids, and tell me a little bit about each one of them.
So, my wife and I met in 1984. We dated for 10 years before we got married.
Wow.
She's my high school sweetheart.
Wow. Oh, the one was in high school.
Yeah, the one who used to come to the game. She'd
Oh,
be
to
the
the
only,
game.
she'd be the only one to watch the baseball game.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I do horrible when she'd come out and
Wow.
be great when she left.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You're all city what? You know, you're horrible. Every time I come to a game, you hit the pop up,
You don't even want her there,
You don't
like-
do anything, you know."
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, but guess what I do when you leave? So stop coming."
Wow.
No, but so we've been together since high school. Love of my life, great woman.
Yeah.
You know, behind every firefighter is a great woman or man, because you know
Yeah.
we're not home for 24 hours, so they're the ones in charge of the children and the household until you get back, and then sometimes you get a double shift, and so you're not back for 2 days. So, you know, these women and men out there that are behind us are really the ones that are the real heroes, because they got to put up with us.
Yeah.
Because after a long day and a long night, you come home, you're tired. You're not ready to take the kid right to school.
Right.
You're tired from the night before.
Right.
Or maybe you're thinking about
Or something happened.
something happened,
Yeah.
you know, a kid probably passed away, or you went
Yeah.
through you had a hard call, and you're still thinking about that, but you don't really bring it home.
Right.
You got to put on the dad suit or the mom suit
Right.
and get to business.
Yeah.
And so a cumulative of that over years is something that we're just getting to working on now.
Yeah.
You know, our health and wellness and our mental stability.
Wow.
You know, because firefighters commit suicide. Firefighters see everything a police officer sees and then more. Okay? So they have a real robust stress unit. We have 2 people on the call.
Why?
We need to have at minimum what they have, and then more, because we get cancer also. The policemen, you know, they'll get cancer, but they're not getting it at the rates that firefighters get. So we really need to look at our health and wellness department and make it bigger. And we just, the chief just hired the first health and wellness and safety chief in our history. And we need more because people are hurting and they need help.
Yeah,
So psychological, mental, you know, you need that help. You can't go through this career, you know, and I had to go through therapy because I had 3 personal friends die, and then I had a firefighter friend die, and this all happened in 1 year. So I had like 4, I think it was 5 total people die within a 9-month period.
I would say,
And I was turning 50 at that time.
while you're saying this, then we're gonna go right back to that. I'm just gonna say this real quick. We have a host that do a show here called Renee L. Cage Watson. She's one of the best clinic therapists in Alameda County, but she also owns her private business. So any of your females, she works with females. Any of your female firefighters that have issues, give her a call. She has a show here, and she really helps well with people, especially females. That's her specialty. And I just want to let you know. So if you know anybody, any of them, and give her a call, she would really she do wonders, and even men too. She do wonders with people and stuff. So that'd be a great resource for them and stuff. So
the biggest thing with, I think, mental illness and your health and stability is the shame. You know, sometimes you don't want to admit that, hey, maybe I need to see somebody because I have a problem, you know, and then spill it into my family life.
right.
For me personally, I was turning 50. I had 5 people that I knew pass away, and you know, at 50, I've already passed how old my father lived to be. He died when I was 5
years old.
of a heart attack. So he died, I think it was 42. So every day I made it past 42, I thank the Lord for it because I didn't think I would make it. You know, because he died young as a heart attack. And so I was like always worried about. That was like a weird psychological thing in my head. Like I got to get to 42, you know, because my dad died. You know. So for me, the therapist said it's like a cup. You have a cup, and so many things start going in your cup. Water starts going into it. And so think about all the calls. So I've been in the department a little over 20 years now. So think about all the different calls I've been to in 20 years. I've seen it all. I've seen, you know, people at their worst moments, people at their best moments, all kinds of death. I mean, one time we were searching a room, my search partner put his hand through the chest cavity of a dead lady and pulled his hand out and had all the insides of the hand and tried to wipe it on me. I mean, that's a little, it's a little levity in a tragic situation, but that's what firemen do to firefighters do to keep moving on, you know. But just think of that. I saw the inside of a chest cavity of a human being on someone's hand. I've seen babies, I've seen, you know, all just, and over the years that kind of catches up with you. And then you have your friends that pass away. And then you're turning 50 and you're like, that's a lot. And so my cup started to spill over at that moment. And I knew one of my good friends, he died, I'd say maybe 6 years ago now, 7 years ago, Bernard Fontenot.
Even some of your school partners.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, Troy Golden died right after high school. Derek Crenshaw passed away.
Yeah, you were.
So freaking John Gerhardt. You know, these are guys I grew up with.
Strange, but a lot of the ladies too that you grew up with.
And so they passed away. But Bernard was from Louisiana. You know, originally I'm from Louisiana. Moved out here on my 7th birthday, and he's from New Orleans, I'm from New Orleans, so we've known each other all through high school.
Still eating gumbo?
Oh yeah, gumbo, of course. And we had a special friendship. I mean, you know, there was a group of us, you know, they call us the CBS crew, you know, City Boy Shred. And all the skaters and surfers out there know what that is. And it was
let me ask you
a great family, and it's still a family today, but when he passed away, something changed in me.
Okay.
There was some nights I would just cry. Like I cried when he died. I didn't cry when I learned my dad died. I didn't cry when my step father died. I didn't cry when my great-grandmother died, who I love very much. And I actually cried in front of a bunch of people for her last year because I told a story about her, and it just caught me, you know? And until he died, I had never really cried. I mean, you know, I never cried.
I will say this, but
unless I was getting whipped by my mama or something like that. Then I cried.
We had to fake cry so it could stop.
Let's
you
stop.
know?
Please stop beating me. But before that, I didn't cry, man.
But you know our era.
I cried at his.
So my era from
funeral.
about, I think, from the 1950s
Yeah.
to about 1970, about 78, them years.
Yeah.
Many men refused to cry,
You refused to cry.
and because he wasn't a man,
No, you weren't a man
if he cried. But
especially in the neighborhood.
I find
you know?
also, as I done got older, that all that holding in over the years,
Yeah.
it
comes
bottled up,
Yeah.
and it came out because I've lost 3 brothers into the streets,
Right.
you know, and for all the times, all the things that bottle up, you know, losing my mom early in her life, you know, my dad and things, but it made me the man that I am because I am so strong as a man to understand the world.
Right.
You know, on my job
Mhm.
that I did for the city, I saw a 80-year-old woman get thrown off the roof, and I watched it. You know,
Right.
I saw a young 7-year-old boy that right in my head.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of things during times like
Yeah.
you have, and I
Like
realized.
gang task force is a tough
Yeah,
gig. Yeah.
but all the times that it wasn't just that, just park and rent. Seeing
Yeah.
people the same thing on the job.
Yeah.
Like I said, that time we were at danger in all departments.
Yeah.
But one way or another, it could be a fire with you. It just
Right.
could be a rival with where
Well,
I'm
you know who
at.
has it tough now is those Muni drivers.
Yeah, same thing. They've been through.
People on the Muni are
Oh man,
insane.
man, they've been the BART. Anything that you, anytime you think of public work,
Right.
you just go you just go to work that day.
Yeah.
You don't know if somebody gonna jump in front of your BART train. You don't
No.
know. You don't know if somebody gonna get on the bus and decide to spray the bus up. You don't know what situation with the fire department. Somebody gonna even run in the fire department and say, "You're looking at somebody with a knife through their head." Or something.
Right, yeah.
You're trying to save their
Yeah.
life, but we don't know. But at the same time, the beauty of the job is so beautiful because of the rewards of seeing a kid win a championship, go off to college, to see it, or see you, or a kid, you save a kid life, he come by and see you, thank you, and he's graduated from college,
Yeah.
or a police officer saved this life, and or you see the mayor make a decision to save many more lives, you
Right.
know, and these are the things that makes us great. We see all different cultures working together.
Well, see, I think
and
that's
the
what we're
beauty
missing
of-
right now.
That's what
And
the beauty of.
That's the difference. That's what we're missing right now.
Yeah.
When we grew up in the '80s, which is, in my opinion, the greatest time to grow up.
70s.
And the '80s are better than the '70s. I'll tell you why. The music was better.
Not the 60s.
Check this out. Check this out. In the
The
80s
music was
No!
better.
That-
The music
Check
was
my
better.
flow out. Check me out. In the '80s.
We're gonna argue about this.
We're gonna argue about this.
I
In
like
the
the
80s.
60s and the 70s.
I
bro.
can hear, now I can go to the top 40. I can hear hip hop, new wave, pop, rock, heavy metal, country, ska, reggae. I just named 8 genres of music.
What about my
and
genre?
jazz.
Soul.
9, and soul and R&B, of course. So
Yeah.
I can hear 10 genres of music in the top 40.
Yeah.
So I can listen to the radio and hear all kinds of music. And that's why you had kids who were listening to all kinds of music. Now, the station only plays country. This station only plays hip hop. This station only plays R&B. This station only plays
Ain't no R&B.
jazz.
Let's get out
Ain't
of
even not even real R&B
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
You know, I mean, so that's why the '80s had the best music because everyone was represented, and just because they had a little bit of busting, we all played with each other.
We did too.
No, in the '70s you all played with each other, but now you can go to some of these schools, it'll be all Asian, it'll be all, you know, it's totally just about almost one race. They'll have a smattering of others because there's not as many. Most of the black people have moved out of San Francisco.
Yeah, it's only like
you know,
42,000.
So there's not very many of us
Yeah.
anymore. They all live in Oakland or even further than that, you know, Antioch, Stockton. But they still all work here though, so that's different. So they might live out there, but they come here
To work.
Yeah. So we've lost that.
Yeah.
So we've lost the sense of knowing and working with others that don't look like us, and being able, and that's San Francisco. That's what San Francisco is. You know, we grew up, and the Fillmore was all black and Japanese. Wasn't really that many Caucasian people. All you
The
had
whole
to,
city was black and white.
but
Yeah,
but
and Japanese.
in ours it was black and Japanese.
Right, yeah.
You know, I had some great high school junior high friends, Scott Sonoda, all these great basketball players. Scott, left-hander, he could play. But anyway, I digress.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
You talked about the '80s, but I'm gonna say a little bit, then get back
About
to
the
stuff.
70s? Yeah,
Yeah, because we gotta start
70s.
We gotta start wrapping this up. But
Okay.
I'm gonna say this
80s
about.
are the best.
No, I'm gonna say this about
70s
this.
ain't
No,
nothing.
I'm gonna say this about the from 1975 down to about in the '60s. The difference for me was we had to communicate verbally.
Right. But do that in the 80s.
Not like it started to change a little bit.
They had no cell phone.
We didn't have to really run from no another neighborhood.
No,
you know,
true.
like Fillmore, we're going over to Lakeview. We got a football game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No problem.
We can go any neighborhood, and we were.
There's
able,
no lake in Lakeview, by the
and
way.
the whole city, yeah, the whole city was family.
Mhm.
Your family knew my family from Lakeview, Hunters Point. It didn't matter.
Right.
I'd get chastised over there.
Yes.
I'm gonna get chastised over here.
Okay.
And not only chastised by the corner store man, everybody knew each other.
Right.
The police walked the neighborhood. Fat police officers,
Yeah.
big bellies, and they walked the neighborhood.
Yeah.
We had truancy, so if we missed school, the truant officer at our house the next day.
Right.
It was a whole different type of atmosphere, and we had the house parties.
Yes.
But
Love house parties.
So
Oh.
it was thing. But when
That's the
when
time.
your era came in the
Yes.
'80s, it began to 84 came, 85 came,
Mhm.
and that change began. That rift began, and not only did that rift hit every neighborhood, it hit every department, because not only was the crack era hitting the department, the police was on it.
Right.
The lawyers was on it. They'd be representing you, and they'd be all nervous. Be like, "What's wrong with this dude?" He's on it too. That everybody got hit with this wave.
Mhm.
It was a plague. And to me, I call it a plague. I do not call it. Think it wasn't a plague.
Well, they have that same plague
Yeah.
going on now.
No,
Now
but,
it's
but what,
heroin.
not,
and
yeah, but what
meth.
bothered me about today, and I'm gonna stay out of that.
Mhm.
If that's the case, you should go back and help all the people that are affected that's still sitting in prison.
Right.
You should go back and help these people to come home. Because
Yeah.
if you're gonna stick billions of dollars in because your era is getting the same effect that what destroyed our culture, then you should go back and allocate money for people of all cultures that got hurt back from
All
the
the
80s.
people in jail for marijuana
Yeah,
charges
they
should
should
be
have
let
come
out.
home. They should be come home because, but anyway, let's move forward.
Sure.
Your captain, your fire, because we got to narrow it down.
Okay.
What is some of the advice you got for some young people that want to be a fireman? And not only that, just want to be something special. And what drive do you think they should have? And because you always had that drive for education because you had the mom that was out there, but you did miss men and you made mistakes because men went in your life the way
Correct.
it was meant to be. So now that you overcome some things, and I know you're going to give that to your son that you didn't give, because that's
Yeah.
how most of us do. I gave it to my son.
Yeah.
My son is definitely giving it to his son, and he's definitely giving it to his son.
Yeah.
And then the things that we didn't have. So what advice you give for any young man that's serious about coming in front? Because I got a friend named John Winston. You probably know Big John Winston. His son has just passed all the tests for the fire department in Winston, and hopefully he comes off and he wants to come off and be a fireman. That's his goal to come into the fire department. What advice do you have for these young men?
Well, we have a youth academy. That's first of all. So we run it. The Black Firefighters Association runs a youth academy for ages from 12 to 19.
How do you get involved?
So if you want to get involved, all you have to do is come in, go on the website. There's a spot for you to write something on the website, say you're interested, and send us your phone number, and be between those ages. And
What's the ages?
from 12 to 19.
Okay.
And we'll call you in, and it's every Saturday during school.
Okay.
And through a fire academy structure, we give these kids discipline.
Wow.
We give them
Marcus, you hear that?
so discipline,
Brilliant.
self-worth, a sense of community, a
Mhm.
structure.
Mhm.
They learn basic first aid and firefighting skills. And this is the only program in San Francisco that does that. So a lot of other nonprofit organizations have duplication.
Right.
This is the only one
Okay.
that your kid can go to and then one day have a pathway into the San Francisco Fire.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
So the Black firefighters do that. And this is our 16th year of operation. And I have to say that there's been some hardships as far as the financials, getting grants and, getting the money that is supposed to be ours. And we're still working on that. We still do money.
Is the
from
union
last
involved?
year. No, the union's not. This is a program that we administer.
Okay.
We have firefighters retired and active that help mentor and do some of the programs within this apparatus that we have. They come out and teach a class or two. Even the chief of the department, that's chief of the department now,
Wow.
she's come out and teach a
Oh,
class.
that's impressive. No.
Janine Nicholson, she's come out and teach.
That's impressive.
Yes.
Thank you. That's impressive.
So-
yeah.
So she's been involved.
Mhm.
The mayor came out to the graduation last year.
Is that right?
She's coming out. She's taking an active role, and actually, she has helped us. So we've had firefighters. People graduate and become firefighters, but previously they would become firefighters in different jurisdictions, not in San Francisco, which is strange since we're the San Francisco Fire Youth Academy. They would go to Texas or Seattle or wherever because this department wasn't hiring them.
Okay.
But this mayor
Okay.
said, we're going to change that. And she had one of our graduates, he's now in the fire department, Paul Bustamante.
Right.
He's the first graduate to become a San Francisco firefighter. And it wouldn't have happened without our mayor.
Well, I will say this about her. She was a young girl,
Mhm.
OC Projects.
Yeah, OC,
Okay.
out of control.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was in there.
yeah.
My department was in there. She saw stuff. And she understands. When you have a mayor that lived it,
Right.
that seen it,
Yes.
that had to get around it,
Yeah.
that had to go to school, and that makes things much easier
Yeah.
and stuff. But now, next question.
Yes.
I don't know if you know about this or not, and you don't have to speak about it. What happened to Flame? Where's Flame?
Don't they have flames still?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
So the fire department.
That is on the
we
fire
still have
department.
flames.
But what do they
as
do?
far as I know.
They still involved with the youth
So
and
they
baseball and
take money from firefighters all over the city, donate money out of
Uh-huh.
every check, and it goes to Flame. And so Flame still administers sports
Oh,
in the
okay.
city.
Because I haven't heard of Flame in a long time.
Not like it used to be.
Yeah, like PAL is
Yeah,
not
PL,
the same.
it's not the same, yeah, and that's where everybody had their start playing baseball, PL league,
Football,
and
yeah.
Flame and football.
And I heard they back in football a little bit.
So
yeah.
we do donate money from every check to go to that league.
Okay.
All firefighters do. We have a coordinator. I'm sure they probably need more help as far as
Yeah.
administering
Mhm.
and coaching like that. But the league is still going, as far as I know, because it comes every month. They post Flame donations. So
Okay.
I know it's still going.
Because Flame, when I was a kid, Flame was just, I'm playing Flame.
Yeah, and Flame was a good league
I'm
back in the day.
I'm playing Flame.
It was way better than PL.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
PL, you play PL, but you're like
Football was PL.
But
Football.
they had a PL
yeah.
baseball league, but
Yeah, but
the
it
Flame
wasn't-
League was way better.
Flame PL was basketball.
Yeah, I played
And
PL
football.
basketball. Yeah,
Flame was baseball. You gonna play baseball?
Yeah,
You gonna
yeah.
get in your Connie Mack?
Connie Mack, yeah.
But then
Joe DiMaggio,
Joe DiMaggio.
yeah.
But all of a sudden, that American Legion came in.
And American Legion came.
When
and
that
took over
came,
everything. Yeah,
man,
yeah.
that for at least 4 or 5 years,
Yeah.
that was the best baseball you can get involved in. We only had, between the two teams, we can only have a about 35 guys.
Yeah.
And that was an honor to even play that
It
sport.
was.
And,
I played against,
wow.
my first year, I think Barry Bonds he's older, but he
Yeah.
played on the other team.
Yeah.
And Greg
Yeah,
Jeffries.
Greg.
and
We played Greg Jeffries, them out at
quite a few
Oh, yeah.
known
Yeah.
baseball
Yeah.
major leaguers came out of
Yeah.
American Legion and
Yeah.
were very successful.
Yeah.
Uh,
So let me narrow this down. And the interview was very impressive to me because
we covered a lot of subjects.
we covered a lot of subjects, but it's not just subjects. But you gotta name your children before we leave here
Oh,
and
of
say a
course.
little bit about each one of them, but not a lot.
Alright. So-
we're gonna say a little bit about each one of them.
My wife's Mary Bola Tillman. I have a daughter, Elena Sapphire Tillman. Another one,
How old is she?
Ariana.
How old is she, though?
She's going to be 20. So I turn 52 tomorrow.
Mhm.
She turns 20 Saturday.
She's in college.
She's in college.
Okay.
So her birthday's the day after mine.
Okay.
So I can't forget.
Okay.
My other daughter, my middle daughter is Ariana
Okay.
Topaz Tillman.
Okay.
And then my youngest is Xavier Giovanni Tillman.
Giovanni.
Giovanni. Yeah.
Hey, Gino, you gonna like that, my partner?
Yeah, Giovanni. Yeah. So
yeah.
he is 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's starting to find sports. He's starting
Yeah.
to find himself.
He
He's
has his
starting
friends
he's
and
starting to develop
video
and-
games,
video games.
Fortnite, and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about his dad being a fireman and the challenges? What does he do? Do you really ask you questions that you see?
He's too young.
Yeah.
I think 8-year-olds
Mhm.
are too young to ask questions about dad,
Yeah.
how his work, and
Yeah.
I think my older kids know
Yeah.
the dangers that are involved.
Yeah.
They've seen friends pass away,
Mhm.
so they know.
Okay.
The younger one doesn't know. He's
Okay.
still,
Growing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we try to let him be a boy.
Now, is your goals to keep moving up, or is your goals are you happy where you're at right now?
I've always said I'll go as high as I can go.
Okay.
I like being a captain, but I think you can make more effective change the higher you go.
Yeah.
Like I can only change so much as a captain because
Even
I have
as a
to.
chief.
You have to get
Yeah.
the buy-in of your lieutenants. You have to get the buy-in
Yeah.
of the people that work under you, and if
Yeah.
they don't, they have a different way they want to go.
Yeah.
Then now you have to be the tyrant.
I've always
You
said
know.
this. I don't care what if you're how high your position is. The
Yes.
higher your position is,
Mhm.
the most important people is the people at the beginning.
It's always the people. You
They-
want to know
they make-
anything about any job?
They
go
make
to
it
the
work.
people doing it. Exactly.
They make it work. The firemen make it work because the new firemen ain't at that fire and they're not following the protocol. They're not doing what they're supposed to do.
Right.
Nothing works.
Well-
and they are the most important.
Yes.
If I see the captain standing out there just doing this,
Yeah.
or the lieutenant, I'm not thinking about them. I'm thinking about them firemen that's in there getting my baby, man.
Right.
That's the ones that's the
Well, the
most
captains
important.
and lieutenants are in there too.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But I'm that man that's wheeling that big old truck, getting that
Right.
ladder up there. Them people are always looked at, and same with police officers. They gonna whoever's out there. But you know what? When you have great leaders,
Mhm.
everything.
Do you think Lake Merced's in Lakeview? It's an odd question, but do you? No, it's not, right?
No,
It's not.
No.
So Ron, this is for you, Ron Scott. Lake Merced is not in Lakeview, brother. Lakeview doesn't have a lake. It's okay. So just get over it. Get over it. There's no lake in Lakeview. So moving back to what you were saying.
But actually,
yes.
it used to be a hole at Lakeview Park that always filled up with water.
That does not count. That does not count. You
So,
always have to
yeah.
appreciate the people doing the work.
Yeah.
If you want to know anything about how anything operates, go to the lowest person on the totem pole and ask them.
Yeah.
So in any operation, whether it's the fire department, police department,
Yeah.
park and rec,
Yeah.
garbage man,
Mhm.
the CEO of Salesforce,
Yeah.
if you want to know what's going on with your company, go to the people doing the work.
And that's everything.
Okay, and that's everything. So
Okay.
if you have the buy-in and of those people, then you can make a successful operation.
Okay.
And that's why I say keep your ego out of the game, because once you have your ego in it, you think you know better, and you don't have to ask those people.
Yeah.
You think that, well, I did that 15, 20 years ago, so I know how it is. No, it's constantly changing and evolving. And people are constantly changing and evolving.
Yeah.
So things that you may have known 20 years ago,
It's
it
not-
might have flipped
But
right now.
well, I'm gonna say this. This has been one of the great interviews to understand what be a fire captain, and also understand what it be coming into the fire department. We have the great Sherman Tillman here, Captain Sherman Tillman, that is making a difference in the Bay Area and the fire department for many people, bringing African American firefighters together with all cultures, with all teams, with all cultures within the fire department, bringing all the teams to work together. We all come to the table, because when it comes down to it, if we're not one, we don't work the way we meant to be. And so,
One neighborhood, one community, one city.
so I want to thank him for coming out. I want to thank him for sharing this ability. I want to thank the chief as well for allowing this to happen. I also want to thank the mayor for the work she's doing for as the San Francisco Mayor London Bree, for trying to also get the notified department and bring them together as well with the police department. I think the police department and fire department have a much better relationship
Oh,
today
great. We have
than
great
they had
relationship.
when they had before.
Yeah.
So today, California Urban Podcast at the Arthur Rory M. Smith Show has had a wonderful guest here that has shared something wonderful. And I saw this young man come in playing baseball at 8 years old, grow into the man he is today, from the surfboard, from the skateboard, from hitting the baseball, from Cal Berkeley to a captain in the San Francisco Police Department. And Ron Scott,
Fire department.
you know what? I
We're
forgot.
not in the police
I
department.
forgot you didn't have a gun on.
No,
Wait a
no
minute.
gun.
I forgot. But from the San Francisco Fire Department.
Maybe back here.
Yeah, no. And I want to also thank Ron Scott
Ron Scott.
for even suggesting this, and
Yes.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate all the fire department, all the firewomen, the firemen, and
Let me give a couple
firefighters.
shouts out before you leave.
Shout out to some of your mentors, and
Yeah.
shout out to some of the ladies and the gentlemen too, real quick.
Well, I just want to take a couple seconds to say what's up to all my CBS crew buddies, all my surf buddies out there. There's so many of them I couldn't really name. But I'd just like to also thank some of my other family members.
Yeah.
Janet Bola, David Bola, Jason Bola, my mom, Betty Tillman,
Yes.
Charlie Bola, Janet, Jennifer, Jimmy. Those are all the Bola clans. I want to thank each and every one of them. My brother, who's living in Bali, Kamau Abayomi. I want to say hello to all my friends at Station 2, all my friends all over San Francisco Fire Department, the Black Firefighters Association, Mark Johnson, Kevin Smith, my board members on my board currently, John, Jacob, Antoine, Mark Evans, Kirk, and I just want to thank everybody for taking the time, and TT out there, I don't want to forget her. I want to say hello to our union president, Sean Buford, who's the first black African American to run the head of our organization.
Wow.
All right, so Local 798, and I just want to say, to wrap this up, is some of the things that I think we should all shoot for and strive. And some of the sayings I have is shoot for the stars, because we can maybe reach the moon. All right, so keep shooting high. Don't just settle for this right here. Keep moving forward. You got this, okay, let's shoot for the next spot.
Yes.
And keep going.
Yes.
No matter who you are.
Mhm.
Not just fire department personnel, but no matter who you are listening to this, keep striving to follow your dream. Because once you extinguish your dream, you might never get to that path again.
Yeah.
All right? So keep on moving. Democracy is for everybody, not just a few. And let's all try to be better and come from a place of love and understanding, and keep moving the world forward. God bless you, brother.
God, thank you, man. This is California Urban Podcast at the Arthur Rory M. Smith Show, sponsored by who?
Curve 31.
Where?
Got a commercial right now, bro.
We're sponsored by Curve 31, known as what? California Urban realty brokerage, Oakland, California. Give us a call. You need a house, you need a refinance on your loan, anything. We are straight up honest. We'll give